Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer. Butler has now shifted out of the office.
Yeah.
Behind the bar. He's dressed as a cabana boy.
Yeah.
Which is odd.
I feel like
you're not really going to get to see him because we have other guests that we're about to pull up, but Butler is dressed in the tiniest of cabana shorts.
Yeah.
You look good, man.
Thank you.
I feel like
mesh was not a good choice, though.
Well, I mean, and it's not see-through. But I can. It's snuggy.
I can see things.
It's snug, though, around the bell end part.
Would you guys agree
the
that
softer, pinker parts?
Out of all of us, Butler is the best bartender, or like
he
at
looks
least
like a
the
bartender.
Quintessential bartender.
Do you know we have a listener that I think looks like the quintessential bartender, and Butler's only one rung below him. It's our friend Taylor Boyd.
Well, he is a bartender.
Yeah, but I know when you look at him, it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you're going to be that for life because you look like that for life.
Right.
Like he's a good-looking man.
Yeah.
And he wears the shirt, got the mustache, and he's. I would make love to that man right now. Second man I'd make love to right now. Travis Butler, good-looking man.
You got to be a good people person and a good bull-esser.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Travis, both.
Yeah.
The people person, bull-esser.
I put the camera on Butler so you can see him. You know, so the ladies get a little eye candy this early in the morning.
So the reason Butler's tending bar today is because we have some delicious German beers.
Oh, I can't wait.
And to teach us about these beers, we've got Chef Pat and Eric from Hollerbachs Willow Tree Cafe with us
Chef
today.
Pat's like, where's Eric? He has to peek around the camera.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Chef Pat, how you doing?
Great, guys.
So we have a bunch of delicious beers, including the Hollerbach. I didn't even know.
I didn't know about that. Why do I know? Oh, man, I'm about to get down on some Hollerbach beer.
This is the first time I've ever seen it.
When did you guys get your own beer?
So, it's 6 months ago, and launched the about a week ago. From 3 years on the same team, we did a little collaboration with those guys, and they tested out a few recipes for us, specifically Theo. And once Theo gave the okay, they put it in kegs for us, and we and them are the only places you can get it right now.
I think it's probably an easier process for the fine folks at Hollerbachs to pick a beer because they have an authentic German man that they can feed the beer to.
Yes,
and then he can give you the ja or nine or whatever. He can be like, that's good.
He knows.
Something like that. If you don't have an authentic German man you can feed the beers to, you're just going to have to go down to Hollerbachs yourself and try it out.
So, so first question I have is if you're talking stereotypical German-style beer, right, which style of beer is that? Because I'm guessing it would be a wheat, as far as I know, like just from the little bit of I've been to Germany before, there was a lot of wheat beers, but I didn't know about if that was they were known for that. Is this like, or is it like lager?
Yeah.
You know, so
I've been to Deltona, and I too had a wheat beer,
Blue Moon,
and I had it at an Applebee's.
At the Deltona Applebee's, they serve a very delicious Blue Moon.
Chef Pat, how authentic is a Blue Monet at the Apple Bazaar?
Yeah, 2 for 1.
The most authentic Deltona beer.
So sorry, Chef Pat.
I love you, Pat. You're awesome, dude.
So what does that mean, German beer, as far as style-wise?
German beer is like saying American barbecue. It depends on where you go in America, so what kind of barbecue you're going to get.
Okay.
So Theo's region, his hometown in Kilburg, they drink this Bitburger Pilsner. That's everything down there. Like every restaurant, this is one of the 2 beers they have on draft. You go into Bavaria, you're going to get more of the wheat beers, the Tukers, the Erdingers, and that kind of stuff. You go up north, you're going to get some lighter stuff, like the Kolsch is from Cologne, which is west, a little bit north of Theo's region. And the specific thing about the Kolsch and why we chose that is because you have to drink it fresh. Like they don't serve Kolsch outside of Cologne. So you got to be in Cologne to get it. So we didn't like the way it tasted in kegs. We can get it fresh. and you get the real experience, and that's why we chose that one.
Interesting. Awesome. Okay, that makes sense now.
Well, I want to start drinking some of these beers.
My hands
All right, man, calm down.
Yeah.
So
I thought this is the guy I thought was I'm working
He's got
out.
the shakes.
Yeah, well, I mean.
And by the way,
he's got a big marketing thing he's working on. He needs his right hand to just steady out a little bit.
I believe there's still some BDM red bottom pint glasses left.
Every time you say that,
Red
I
bottoms?
think you're no. It's that like Louboutins,
Yeah.
and also my backside happens to be very inflamed.
Oh.
And sometimes I think you're just clowning me.
And also, but we have a brand new promotion with Hollerbachs Willow Tree Cafe, where if you go inside and eat some delicious German food,
It's the best you'll ever have.
ask for a Tom and Dan. I've been calling them wiener pins.
I've been calling them wiener pins too, but that's
probably
weird.
not. Yeah,
Sausage, I think, is more
let's
preferred.
talk to them
They're
sausage.
weenie pins.
Yeah.
Weenie
Okay.
pins.
All right.
I like that better. Thank you, Pat.
And we got these little, thanks to Eric Pabone's art.
Yeah. Put it
it's
on your hat. Put it on your collar.
Me and Daniel as German sausages.
With mustard wings.
Yeah.
That's the secret.
And you can get that for free. Just ask at Willow Tree when you're there eating, and ask for the Tom and Dan
Ask
weenie
it while
pin.
you're eating some delicious spatzel.
Yeah. So, okay, Chef Pat, what do we want to start with today?
Let's start with the Hollerbachs Kolsch beer. It's one of the lighter beers, and you're going to be able to progress into some of the heavier stuff.
All right, perfect.
All right, we got...
So
I'm gonna go to Butler. You get to see Butler. I've got so many cameras in here now. I'm like the NFL Network. I'm like, let's go to the. I got a wire that runs through. It's like a
Butler
live
cam.
cam. I put a red light inside the can so you can see it actually being poured.
Can you buy this beer
Thank you, Butler.
if you wanted to take some home with you at Hollerbachs?
So all the beers that I sent you guys, you can get them on draft at Hollerbachs, or you can get them to go at Magnolia Square Market.
Okay.
I'm gonna say something.
These nice 6-pack cans, so they're good to go on the boat and at the beach and stuff like that.
I've never had this beer.
Yeah.
I've never had it in my life, but I'm gonna tell you right now that right off the dome, like first sip,
Yeah.
that is a refreshing ass beer. That is
Yeah.
a nice. That beer was made for today
Oh, wow,
on my
yeah.
balcony.
Yeah.
Two of those guys, ice cold, just sit me out there. Just let me relax.
It's just fresh.
It's fresh.
Yeah. It's
This beer.
Kolsch are known for amazing notes on the nose, so it's got a lot of smell to it.
and so that's why you want it
that's
done
good.
fresh, because if it wasn't, it's not gonna be the same. Obviously,
You lose some of the flavors.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is delicious.
Yeah, that's really, really good. Hand me a can. I just want to look at a can here, Butler. Yeah, give me that guy.
Here's what you should do. Just go pick yourself up a 6-pack of this, a red bottom pint glass for free. Eat some lunch. And get the wiener pen. I mean, it's right. It's
And
all
again,
there.
this is daughters. And the coolest thing about this too, remember, you might be eating and drinking German, but you're also drinking Florida. Because it's a Florida beer.
Yeah.
And for those of your crafty guys that like to drink, local beer, you're not going to get any fresher than made in the state. This is awesome. I really like this beer. It's only a 4.6 too.
Oh yeah, that's good.
So you can drink a whole 6-pack.
Yeah. Oh, I can drink a 12-pack, sir. I just talked to Tom about this on Monday.
Yeah. I'd say, we're gonna
maybe 14 if I'm trying to overachiever.
All right, Chef Pat. What are we gonna go to next?
I think Bitburger Pilsner.
All right, that's the one that he said. That's the classic one. Theo's been, tasting this for quite some time, correct?
So when I went over to Germany, I stayed in Theo's hometown, and this is the only beer that they have on draft in that town.
I love that.
All the buildings in the area he's called the Bitman, but it's this little guy up here is on all the buildings. I don't know if you can see on Twitch.
A little bit, yeah.
This specific sort of glass is what it's served in. Okay. And over there, traditionally, it takes like 7 to 10 minutes to pour a Pilsner. You almost pour it straight on because you want the head to protect the beer from oxidation so it doesn't lose its flavor.
So you're in effect you're pouring it hard? Is like you want a lot of
kind of, yeah. Like there's actually specific glasses for Pilsner to actually help contain the head, so you actually hold in a lot of the flavor inside of that.
When I met Jim Cook from Sam Adams years and years ago, like probably like 15 years ago, I remember him. We were drinking some beers and some Sam Adams beers and some other beers, and he did a really hard pour. And he liked that really, really tall head, and you had to wait for it to kind of just...
It's like 3 fingers of head.
Yeah, it was a lot. And I remember, and I never really knew why that was being done. Let's try this guy.
This is good.
This is beer that tastes like beer.
Oh, and it's got a little snap. I like that little. It's got that little bit of like a whack at the end of it, like a Sprite does.
Yeah. I smell this beer, and it reminds me of my dad talking to me.
Yes. Yeah, dude. Yes.
Okay, Chef Pat.
100%.
Chef Pat, what
He's
you
whispering he loves me.
What you weren't counting on was the trash, white trash
Budweiser
child.
kisses, yeah.
Budweiser kisses.
I like how this is how me and Samantha bond.
As soon as he said that, I had just finished taking a sip, and I go, holy
Yeah,
crap.
both of you guys were like, Daddy? Daddy, is that you?
Oh, man.
It's the quintessential like beer
Yeah,
smell. It
yeah.
just smells like a beer.
If you do
Pilsner.
like beer, that I love that smell. I just love it. Give me that in a cologne, man. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
the smell of that.
Yeah,
That could get dangerous.
They do have it in Cologne. It's called Kolsch.
yeah.
Man, that's yum.
Yeah, that is
really
good. I enjoy that a lot.
Butler.
God, I crushed that one. Now that's a snappy beer. I like that guy.
So
That's another beer you can drink a lot of.
I also like the fact that we're trying all beers from the same country rather, but man, are they different. All over the place. And it's also refreshing, Pat, to go back to like beers that have been around for literally hundreds of years. To me, a lot of craft beer guys, and I'm not throwing shade at all or being negative. I mean, but a lot of craft beer guys go, oh, there's a brewery right down the street, or there's a brewery. Yeah, and that's great. You should support your local and your hometown breweries. But there's also some beers that are really considered like the original, the OG craft beers that have been around for...
Weinsteffen.
Yeah, I mean...
World's oldest brewery.
Yeah, there's some beers that like...
yeah.
Guys, that's still craft beer. In fact, that's like the stuff that inspired the guys that are doing it now.
100%.
Chef Pat, do you have a lot of customers that are from Germany that come in just to get because it's the only place they could find like authentic German beers?
Yeah.
We do, especially like with the Kolsch. We have guests from Cologne. She drinks her Kolsch in the tiny little Kolsch glasses like they drink them in Cologne. And they like that they can get the authentic experience, not just the beer.
Yeah.
That's true. And a lot of that matters, like this was cooked the proper way. That glass is correct. It was poured correctly.
All the details,
that's the way it should be. My mom, God bless her soul, but when she went to Ireland, like she told me, she was like, she had to have a Guinness, right?
Yeah, room temperature,
and
the whole
she got
thing,
one, and she says it is amazing. It's like it was literally an experience. It wasn't just a beer; it was a deal. And Hollerbachs is that way. We've been saying that in our ad.
Yeah.
When you go
that's
there,
what they're famous for.
Yeah, it's not a restaurant.
Yeah.
It's an experience. It's a thing. It's like it might as well be a German sausage theme park as far as I'm concerned, because I just go crazy.
But the authenticity is there, and it's real.
Let's go to another one, man. Feeling great now. I'm inspired now.
I know.
Well, I know why you're feeling great.
No, I just think all these ideas are going to my brain. It's not the beer at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel wonderful. I was, you know what? I was
Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
I took vitamins this morning. It's got to be that.
I woke up. I felt like garbage. I was miserable, and then all of a sudden I feel great. And I think it's because we're talking.
God, this is what being best friends is all about.
I love doing this job. I was miserable.
I
right
love
when
Chef Pat. Chef Pat, I love you.
I was like, no, not again. And then now I'm like, this is the best job in the world.
Where are we going, Pat?
Let's go to the Hacker Shore Munich Gold Lager.
Whoa, that's got a crazy name. Hackenschmier?
Just from the bottle.
Hackenschnoll.
It's in a mini bottle. What is that? Is that 12
that
ounce?
bottle has the shape of my body. I believe. It's like a very.
Yeah. Do they specifically sell this beer in less like ounces on purpose, or do we get a mini one?
11.2.
So Germany goes by liters. So this is a third of a liter. It's 11.2 ounces. So they're very specific like that. Like you can get the Kolsch and Cologne comes in 0.2 liters. When you get the big Moss beers in Oktoberfest of the Fest beer, those are 1 liters. You can get half liters, but it's all metric. So their bottles are all designed for the specific beer for the glassware.
How many gallons is that? I only know ounces and gallons.
Exactly.
And I'm never changing. That's the part that really I like. All right, I'm going to go in on this one.
All right.
That's good.
Now that one doesn't have the slapback. That's real smooth. That's real. The finish on that one is like sweet.
Yeah.
That's
You're right.
That's tasty.
This is probably one of our biggest selling beers.
I think
is
this
the
one's my
Gold
favorite.
Lager because it's so smooth.
Yes.
And people that come in and want something that doesn't taste that beery, as Dan was saying about the Pilsner, this is more in lines for them.
The word that comes to mind for this one is just, it's a treat. It doesn't even taste like a beer.
Yeah.
Five? No, that's a 5.5?
Oh yeah, that'll sneak up on you.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, no. Sam's like, I like. Sam, did you hear
It's
Sam?
my favorite.
It's my favorite, Daddy. Yeah, we're all hammered, Pat.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite too. That is a really, really tasty beer. What's that one again, Pat? Because I think I blew the name.
That's the Hackashore Munich Gold Lager.
Hackenshore.
You know-
I love that name.
You know what it is, Pat? Is that like pre-COVID, there were so many different beer fests all the time and so many different events that there was. We would do these beer tastings on air.
I miss this so much.
but like all the time. And
I feel like it's been a year.
But if you do them all the time, then it almost because
it's like saying the words "I love you" to your wife. You should only
they
do
become
it.
less important. Yeah.
Only do it once a year.
And then now we've gone, 6 months without doing it. And then I'm like, oh my God, drinking on the show.
Why haven't we done this every day?
Well, when Butler said, "Hey, I'm on my way back with a bunch of beer," I instantly just clicked my heels like a leprechaun. I was so happy.
That is good.
All right, I guess, Pat, let's keep moving because I think we've all agreed that one, just based on this how smooth it is.
Yeah.
And I guess the alcohol content doesn't hurt.
After the fourth one, they take like, this one's the best.
All of them, yeah.
You're like, what? They keep getting better. And everybody's getting better looking.
It's crazy.
I'm tall, super horny.
Oh, my God.
Right.
I'm sorry, Pat. Where are we going next, my friend?
It's all good. Next is going to be the same brand, Hackashore, but this is their Oktoberfest, which is what everybody's drinking right now because it would be Oktoberfest.
Yes, it is in fact Oktoberfest, so we're going to try a little Oktoberfest of beer. Same brand or same brewery, but different style of beer.
And Pat, let's talk about you guys are celebrating Oktoberfest this month, and you can still enjoy Hollerbachs and Willow Tree, and
you can get it to go. You can go and enjoy it in a safe space because they do it right. We got this one.
Actually, we're refraining from calling it Oktoberfest since they have it in Germany. We're not going to have it in Sanford. We're having worst weekends is what we're calling it because every weekend is worst. Mm-hmm. And you can socially distance, sit outside in the beautiful square around the fountain. We have QR codes on the tables. You can order through your phone and pay through your phone. We come drop it off to you. We've got a few different sausage, currywurst, pretzels, beers, and like I said, just trying to keep the crowd down and not have a whole thousands of people come down.
I mean, like the easiest thing, and what we've been doing, like me and my wife, if we, you got a bug and you want to celebrate this, you can swing through and get it takeout and get your beers and get everything and just set it up at home. I mean, sure, you'd rather be in the restaurant. I would. But, sometimes you can get it to go. And if you want to do it safe, they have it set up for you if you want to do that.
And with Willow Tree's expansion, they have a huge area. Yeah. So,
a big German food warehouse. Awesome. All right, I'm going in on this one. This is the Oktoberfest. Now, Oktoberfest beers, how are they any different, Pat, typically? Or is it up to the brewery to decide what they want to do to make their Oktoberfest beer special?
Yeah, what makes it a true Marzen?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Butler.
He refuses to talk to Butler.
Here's what happened. Butler knew
True Marzen.
Butler knew one beer word, and he wanted to get the girl's nipples hard.
Yeah.
So he leaned into the mic, and he's like, "Yes, Daniel, great question. I'll piggyback that. What makes it a true Marzen, sir?"
Oh, your new name is True Marzen.
All those in favor of changing his name to Marzen Dobson, say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Is he there?
Pat, can you hear us, Pat?
Uh-oh.
He is calling from Germany, guys. I mean, let's. Oh wait, I'm drunk.
I think we're having some technical difficulties, but I'm getting drunk.
Yeah, it doesn't matter when you drink a beer.
Yeah.
Who cares when you're drunk?
I'm enjoying this True Marzen. It's great.
Well, I know he was going to go with this Erdinger Weiss beer next, which is a beautiful Belgian.
I'd love
German,
to kick you in the Erdinger.
What is happening?
Bottle fermented too.
I'm keeping Pat up just in case he reconnects.
Yeah. He's,
we got a smile.
You're back?
Oh,
No.
Oh, now you killed him. Oh, you're the true Martian. You're the true Martian. You've always been the true Martian. You can't handle the true Martian.
Maybe now.
Wait.
We hear you a little bit.
Robot, we hear you.
There's a lot of beeps and bloops.
He's losing Wi-Fi signal.
Yeah.
We're falling out.
Tell Theo to quit playing Candy Crush.
He's soaking up the Wi-Fi. We're trying to get loaded here.
You there?
Right, so True Mars, different roasts on the malt and stuff like that. They give it different flavors. But German only has Reinheitsgebot, the beer. 5 ingredients in the beer.
10-4.
Reinheitsgebot, which is the German purity law. That's what he's talking about.
I'm just watching you two drunk idiots stare at each other.
Sorry, Pat. We're not professional now. We've made mistakes. We drank too much Mars.
More Mars.
I didn't have a good base going into this.
I didn't eat breakfast. And right now I can't even see out of my eyes.
Yeah. I started just really chugging.
Man.
Usually I take little bird sips.
Ask me. You know where I am right now? I blasted off to Mars.
And then Butler's heavy pouring, and then I'm just drinking.
Well, I know he's heavy poured because I've seen him walk out of here with full sheets of our checks from our I've seen him walking. He's like paper airplanes. He's throwing them out the window.
Can you hear us, Pat?
Oh no.
I think we went to.
He's a
Are you
bad
there?
one.
No. That's fine. It's
say goodbye to Chef Pat, who was telling me about True Marzen.
the Wi-Fi, you know.
Well, there it is, Grandpa.
Hey, man, you know, he's still like, oh,
hey.
How many?
Hey, here we go.
True Marzen.
Oh man, we're
There it is.
Yeah.
You had to kick those unpure Martins.
Sorry,
out.
I think we have a Wi-Fi problem.
Oh, thank you, Grandpa. He said it again.
Hello.
Okay.
All right.
Tommy, good.
Yeah,
let's go to one more beer. We're on the Erdinger, right? Erdinger.
Erdinger Weiss beer.
Oh, I didn't give you my cup back. Is this it?
Yeah, it's your cup.
Hold on.
All right.
Oh, damn it, Butler! I'm drinking way too much. All right.
This will happen.
This is one of the wheat beers, like you're talking about, Tom. Erdinger is one of the more famous brands, and it is a wheat ale, and it is very, very tasty. And it gets served in a wheat beer glass, which is what you see your Blue Moons come in. But it's just so much better.
When I'm enjoying a fine Azur Luna, or you guys call it the Blue Moon, I'm drunk.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go easy on this one. Yeah, that one's tasty. And the last one, I don't know if we're gonna get into.
Well, I think you'd probably go next would be the Optimator, which is a Doppelbock.
Now that's a Spaten product, correct?
Correct.
That beer. Now, Spaten, how many different beers are variations or varietals? I don't even know how you say it. Of beer does a brewery like Spaten have?
No. The Wi-Fi.
I'm glad you asked, Daniel. Actually, I believe they actually have several different.
Take it from here, Grandpa.
All styles.
Let's go to Grandpa to see what the problem is. Grandpa, what's the problem?
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, all right. Back to you, Dan.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. What's the Sunkist one?
Sunkist.
Oh, this is good.
And
This is a
also,
great
he
fruit
did
beer.
his legendary
He's
phrase.
been eyeing the Sunkist one the whole time.
Yeah, but you know why he's drunk? You know why I know he's a little buzzed? It's because he did his signature phrase, which is "What's-a. You haven't said that in a
What's a
long
what's-a?
Yeah.
He did the "What's-a. It's the fuzzy bear.
What? Drunk in the bear.
Is anybody else hot?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I got long sleeves on today.
Jesus, Chef Pat, you're killing me.
It's so hot.
I'm dying.
Turn the AC to.
What if I start vomiting? Chunk is big.
Today's the day. I said yesterday, when does Jack pull the plug? Today's the day.
All right.
One more. Let me get a pull on that.
Are we getting the Sunkist? Oh, hey, 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 Sunkist. Party line.
We're here. Hello.
Theo, guys, say hi, Theo.
Theo!
Hey!
Oh man, Theo, we're
Oh, we got hammered, Theo.
We're into Sunkist now.
Yeah, we're drunk crazy. And we seem to be
Oh, let's scoop a beer out.
we seem to be having a Wi-Fi problem. I diagnosed it.
Thank God Tom diagnosed it.
Cheers.
I don't have anything.
Prost.
Give me some Sunkist.
We're going.
Ticky tacky, ticky tacky.
Oh,
You almost did it. Tom goes, oh, 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 oh,
Oh, that's
Gangnam style.
Maybe he is hammered. I'm telling you, he's acting more like it.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Does he drink a big gulp?
It's real bad, Theo. I drank way too much, and it's still morning.
Well, I guess let's try to fumble through our plugs. Thank you guys so much for the lovely German beers. We love them so much.
Yeah.
It's Willow Tree, Hollerbachs Willow Tree, in the heart of historic downtown Sanford. If you've never been, like I always say, it's not a restaurant. It's more than a restaurant. It's an experience. Bring your family. You can do it safe. You can socially distance, or you can get the takeout. You can swing through, grab some beers, go to the market, go to the Outfitters. There's tons to do there. And
get any of these beers at Magnolia Square Market. I think they still have a couple pint glasses. You get one for free whenever you purchase.
Don't forget about the pens.
Yeah.
Ask for those when you purchase some food or something from, I like Spotzel. Get the new, the dumplings. Get those. Eat those things.
And if you get
Jaeger schnitzel.
if you're
Eat
ordering
the hell out
takeout,
of
tell the person you're ordering from, ask for the pen before you get to the front, and then make them go back and get the pen.
Yeah,
Be like, can I have a Tom down? And then so they'll give it to you when they give you your order.
Indeed. Well, hey, Chef Pat, Theo Hollerbach, thank you so much for everything, guys. We love you, and we hope to see you guys very, very soon.
Auf Wiedersehen, bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss.
See ya. I'm still.
Did you get any of the Sunkist? I didn't taste it. Is it good?
I didn't get any. I should lay
I'm,
off the Sunkist.
I can do it right.
Oh.
Bye-bye.
Welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. All right, I feel better now.
Still feeling it.
Yeah,
I'm still drinking the Sunkist over here.
Yeah, keep drinking it. It's fine. We're going to do voicemail emails now. If you want to send us an email, super easy, show@tomanddan.com. If you want to send us a voicemail message, you can do it a couple ways. First way, download our free app, totally free. All of our content's on there. Just search for Tom and Dan app or Mediocre app or a Mediocre app. Very easy to find for both Android and your iOS device. And there's a little area in there called Mediocre Messages. Hit a button, and you can send us a message. It is an amazing time to own a cell phone. Here is our first voicemail.
Hey, Tom, Dan, Sam, Trav. Calling about Dan, your comments about John Krasinski that you've said a number of times.
Yes.
You should trust your gut.
Let me explain, because I'll pause there. So the famous actor from both Quiet Place and The Office, namely The Office. I mean, that's what made him a superstar.
Jim from The Office.
Yeah, and then that other movie he was in where he's running around and they're like, the missiles, you know, that guy. What was it, John Reacher or
Jack Ryan?
Reacher? Jack Ryan?
Right?
Yeah, no, that's a politician.
Oh.
Jack Ryan? No, I don't know. Jack and the Beanstalk.
Jack Ryan sounds right, maybe. No. But yeah, the
Arthur Treachers.
He's a SEAL Team 6.
Yeah, that thing. So anyway, I when I look at that guy, and it all started from his web show because of COVID and the pandemic. This like, what is it? Something Good Today or like
Good News.
Yeah. I started watching that a couple times, and there's just something about that guy that I can look into his eyes, and I just. And I'm upfront about the fact that I have nothing to base this on. It is me being an a-hole.
It's just a vibe.
It's but I'll call it what it is. It's me being a jerk, and I'm okay with that because I've come to a realization of being 44 years old, and also when you're drunk, it's hard to say realization. But you're gonna be a jerk sometimes, and I just don't. I look at him and I go, there's something about you.
Everybody has somebody.
Oh,
that
yeah.
they're like, I don't know why I don't like this person, but I don't like this person.
Here's the thing. I'm sure he doesn't care.
No.
Never know.
No.
I look at it like you're not hurting his feelings.
No, I know that, but it's also not.
It's
Not a good thing to do. You know,
Just
it's
to
not
not
good to
like-
just look at somebody and be like, I don't like that guy. I mean,
Well, I mean, I look at it like if you're not doing any harm to that person or whatever, just not liking
Right.
someone just because it could be for no reason, just
Yeah,
because
like
of
don't
how they
troll
are.
them on the internet or anything.
No,
but,
I leave
but,
alone,
you know,
and I wish them the
Then
best.
That's fine.
But
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
so
It's fine.
I honestly think it's the psychological effect of us thinking that at least to me, I'm thinking he's Jim from The Office, and then he's not that in real life, and I don't like who he is in real life. I like Jim from The Office, and even though I'm not a complete idiot, I know that that's an actor playing a character. It's still, I've seen The Office so many times that I can't get past that that's a different person in real life, and I don't like anybody else's personality but Jim from The Office. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see that.
Because he's different than that in real life, I immediately throw in some shade just from that fact.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
You should trust your gut. I'm a BDM up here in New York, and I've talked to you on Weird Job Wednesday before about lighting for movies and TV and stuff. I have a number of friends who've worked on both of the Quiet Places with him, and he is an incredibly horrible person to work with, and he's incredibly horrible to people around him. So your assessment of that is correct. All right, take care.
It's my superpower.
Interesting.
I can look into somebody's eyes and tell whether or not you've got good in you or bad in you. I'm like Pappy Troll from Frozen.
And so this is why I lean towards believing this guy is because when someone tells me that a certain like celebrity is a D-bag or whatever,
everybody has a bad day.
And they had one encounter with them,
Sure.
I will give the celebrity a pass,
yeah.
and then like
you have to,
because I was like, well, bad day, or how'd you interpret it? Like, because,
And also, how did you approach the person?
yeah,
and,
if they
all
were
that.
they were in a hurry in the airport, you asked for an autograph, they're like, I'm sorry, I can't, and then you took it as like a super
personal
slight
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, how are you emotionally taking it? What was the situation? But
I've had listeners do that to me, write me and say, I met you at a Just for Feet. I met you at a Just for Feet or a shoe carnival. I met you. I was going to change it to shoe carnival. I met you at the shoe carnival, and no, this is a true story. I've said this before, and it hurt my feelings. You remember the time? I had a person tell me that they met me at like a Just for Feet or a shoe carnival, and that their wife was a huge fan of me on the radio.
Yeah.
And she had cancer and was going through chemotherapy. And that they approached me and asked me if I would take a picture with them.
Yeah.
And this was said in the email, that I looked at the wife, the person suffering from cancer and going through treatment.
Yeah.
And I made a face as if to barf. And then reluctantly took the photo while looking down angrily because I was having to do it.
That sounds like you. I believe that guy.
Where's the lie?
I was waiting for like, and what else?
I like the what else. That's the norm. You gave him the normal.
Yeah,
you gave him the regular.
Yeah, you gave the regular Dan.
I can honestly tell you that that could possibly be somebody's perception.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact I have never done that.
Yeah.
I have never looked at somebody who's struggling with something as horrible as cancer and been like, ew, yeah, we make jokes in here and we have personas that are a little bit real and a little bit not real. That has never happened. And it hurt me when I heard that, but that's just, you can't control the perception or how people react to you or what they're going through or how sensitive they might be, and I accept that. And it sucks. I think the hurtful thing to me is to think back on that and be like, oh man, I feel bad that you were
interpreted
upset.
that way.
That sucks.
That's what happens when you emotionally interpret interactions and stuff, where you're not taking it for face value, you're taking it like, what was the meaning? And then if you're doing the same thing, what happens on the internet when you type words and then you put it out there, you're leaving it up to everybody's interpretation of how this is meant to be said, and then how that person reads it in their mind. They've made their own determination, even though it could be completely different than the person's intentions.
I mean, you could just be like, something as simple as just being like having something on your mind when you're having a bad day, or being disinterested, or being aloof. I mean, I haven't been let's be real, I haven't been a very pleasant person to be around as of late. Maybe in here, I don't think with you guys I rub anybody the wrong way, but I have my moments, where things are like a little off. I'm sure if somebody encountered me in the last 3 weeks, and their perception, maybe they would naturally get a vibe off of me that's just maybe anger or sadness. You know what I mean? Like that's just chemistry.
So going back to this guy, I believe this guy because he's talking about people that have worked with him for long periods of time. Let's say he's a complete D-bag. Although, okay, so I'm going to start trying to justify his actions.
Oh, please do.
So is it possible, but you know what, there's plenty of actors and A-list actors that people are like, they're great to work with.
I always go to Hanks. Everybody goes to Hanks.
Right? Or, even Tom Cruise, is nutty as he is. Now, not that many people.
Something that Tuna Daddy in the chat did mention, and I automatically thought about it too, because the guy specifically said it was work on the 2 A Quiet Place movies, which those are his babies. He not only directs, he not only acts in them, he's like directing those movies. So maybe it's a little more personal. He wants to get it right. He doesn't want to be like a laughing stock as a director. So maybe he's a little harsher. I don't know. I mean,
because so you're right.
But he could just be a D-head.
I mean, this is my baby, and sometimes I look at this and like, does that amp up my ability to maybe be angry and stuff? Yeah, and I think that's valid. I think that's valid.
Also,
because I've been rougher in here. Because we own this,
Does his behavior change the fact that he's a director? If he's just an actor, then maybe, the same thing with if you're the owner of the company or if you're an employee, you could act different ways, obviously.
Sure.
You're an employee, you're just like everybody else. You could be nice to everybody, it doesn't matter, you're getting paid. If you're in charge, then maybe you have to be stern. And then some people don't know how to be stern without being a D-head.
But I always go to we're all adults. You didn't need to talk to me like that.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's all you're right.
I always
you can be
to
stern
that.
and ask what you want and not be a D-head about it.
Because I've never had even in the altercations that we've ever had here.
You know what?
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
But even in here, when we've had tough stuff to talk about or business meetings and stuff like that, and whereas maybe I'm taking a more aggro point than the other side because that's more my personality.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been yelling or screaming or unreasonable.
Yeah.
I
remember
you're looking at me like, oh.
No.
I'm kidding.
I remember when an old manager of ours at the radio station yelled at us, and I remember being like, "Don't yell at me, old man. I'm a grown adult. Like you're yelling at me like we're
what
adults."
What was that about? I forgot about that.
I don't know. Some
I
dumb radio.
remember that.
Some dumb radio. Yeah. And then I'm like, don't yell at me.
Get out of here.
Just talk to me like I'm an adult. Like, what do you need me to do? And I'm like, I hate that management style.
Why are you yelling? You're gonna inflame your toes.
Yes, it's like if
your diabetes is pumping.
Tell me what I need to change. I will change it. If I don't, then fire me. That's it.
That happened to me one time.
You can do this in an email, by the way.
Where a manager screamed and cussed me out. In front of other employees.
That's absurd.
And I literally started laughing in her face, and I go, you realize you're supposed to be the manager here, right? You don't talk like this to people, and I'm not a child. I'm an adult. We talk.
This job is not that important.
I will walk out right now, because if I don't, I'm probably going to punch you in the face. So I was like, you need to calm down, lady.
Yeah, that's just dodo way of, you gave a manager some power, and they're too much of a dodo to do anything else. So they go back to revert to being like a parent yelling at a kid.
Yeah.
Because that's all they know.
And it was significantly younger than her, but still, like.
Yeah. Now, man, I feel bad for this. Like, if you're a manager of some like retail, oh my God.
Oh.
When I used to work retail, I was like, oh man, everybody around here is.
You have to disassociate yourself a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like when you do that, you can't. You can be invested enough because of your job, but at some point you have to distance yourself from. Like the relationships you have with people, because it's not going to be good, right? Like you have to know that you're in a place of power. These people are not going to respect you, and any decision you make is going to be bad.
But if you're a manager to a bunch of dodos that you almost have to treat like children, like that, then I feel bad because like you almost have to do what a parent does, because like I looked around sometimes and I'm like, oh my God, like this is the
but the guy we're missing
here. I'm in it. But
a lot of small business problems, I think, could be solved if we could really find the unicorn, which is Joe Average, the guy that works just hard enough to get his job perfectly done and doesn't do anything extra. I just want a guy that does the job.
He doesn't slack. He doesn't do anything extra.
No, he's just in the middle guy, because you don't get that. What you get is the slackers, and then you get the guys that work really, really hard and really, really well.
The
and
overachievers.
Then you try leaning on those overachievers, but then they start to resent you while the other guys already hate you. You need to find more of those middle of the road guys.
It's hard. They don't really exist.
They're so hard to find.
Or those are the guys in retail that have been working there for like 25 years.
Yeah, they're lifers.
They're lifers. Yeah, because I've talked to some of those guys, and they're like, yeah, I just figured out I'm never gonna get fired as long as I do this, and that's fine. I don't want to go up the corporate ladder. I just want to make my money here and then not be bothered. And that's bye.
It is a corporate time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer's here. Butler is in the other room. And you might be asking yourself, why does he always start by saying, it's another? Because you never know when this show might end. You just never know. So when I'm saying it, what you're hearing is an actual and authentic element of surprise.
Yeah. It's like ordering one more beer at the restaurant, but you know you're going to have more after that.
You're also looking at the clock, too, and you know it's like past the time.
Yeah. So you say one more, but you know there's 5 more, but it could be only one more.
It could be one. You never know. You never know. Your wife
crow could
you know
yell
what?
at you.
I hate when my crow, and I don't mean Minnie. I mean the woman that belongs to me. She, I'm going to get an email for that. I know that she will sometimes just pay the check.
Okay,
that's a good move.
Oh, to keep you from ordering.
If you want to stop your husbands, because the ladies are good, they're smart.
Yeah.
If you want to stop your husbands from, when they get up to go to the bathroom,
you pay the check.
Andrea will pay the check. And then I'll come back and I'll be like, hey, I'm going to order another beer. She's like, I already took care of the bill. And I'm like, but
God,
no, that's not what I do.
move.
See, this is the difference between you and I. You go, God, like that. I go, we got to get another check.
Yeah, okay.
And then I go, one more beer. And then she's like, I'm going to have to make another check. I'm like, that's fine.
Okay, you force pass it.
Yeah, you got to force pass
not
it.
me. I just get depressed. I'm like, I don't have control of my life.
When I get home, I'll show her. I'll go drink in the hot garage.
I'm glad my pop-up's not here to see this.
Would you like to do the thing that we do?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Oh, Canada, home of George St. Pierre. Tom's Pop called it Gay Mexico.
Gay Mexico!
Canadian Josh is on the line.
Hey, guys. Thank you so much. I love it.
Yeah, you finally got your own intro.
Yes.
It's like
I made it.
You made it into an elite.
He's only been doing this for almost a year, and Business Baby got it his second round.
We got another verse coming up, or no?
No, short and sweet.
Yeah, there was a lot, but we cut all the.
It was like a 4-minute. It was very long. At one point, he had the abridged version, and then give me the lengthy one, and it was like maybe a 22-minute Fish song. So we just cut it down
with solos, bongo solos.
It was crazy, absolutely crazy. Yeah. Ziggy Marley came out, guested on it. Then they had the saxophone player from Dave Matthews Band. Isn't that guy dead? The saxophone player from Dave Matthews Band?
I think so.
He was the fatter guy, right? Butler would know this.
I think Butler just screamed yes from the
Oh,
bathroom.
from the is he pooping? You know what? That's dedication. If you can scream that you know that the fat saxophone player from DMB is dead while you're pooping, and the fiddle player, he ended up being like a pedophile, right?
He did?
I think so.
Oh, my God.
No, you can't say that.
Yeah. If you want to play in
A
Texas.
fiddler diddler?
Yeah, if you want to play
No.
in Texas, you got to have a diddler in the band.
No, you can't just say those things.
No, I think that was a thing. Look it up. Something happened.
Like, I'm jaywalking.
I like that at the end. Something happened.
Well, that's what Tom always says when
That's
we do
true,
something.
he
Tom always
does.
goes, well, it's something. That's what he says.
Didn't they spray doo-doo out of the tour bus onto a...
Onto they were driving by a bridge and then they dumped all of that sweet hippie crap all over a tour.
Yeah, a boat tour below the bridge.
They're like, oh, God, I'm covered in kale.
Hey, that's my last name.
He was. He did have a lawsuit filed against him from former Crystal Garden Band member alleging sexual misconduct.
Kabam!
Well, that's
not a pedophile. if I'm playing darts, you know, I didn't.
It's close.
Yeah.
I'm
You
on
hit the outer ring.
Yeah, I'm the third ring.
Yeah. So, Canadian Josh, what's going on?
Hey, guys, it's great to be back. It's been a while. I was going to start things off talking about hockey, and congratulations to all you Floridians and your Tampa Bay Lightning winning the Stanley Cup. Were you guys aware that you had an NHL team in Tampa? I guess I should start with.
Yeah, we know the Lightning. Listen, they won in 2004.
Yep.
And there's a lot of Lightning fans.
To counter your insult, are you aware that, you know, the Panthers and the Lightning... pretty good, and probably should be way worse than you guys are.
Yeah. Now, Josh, I was saying this earlier on in the week, and I know that it's ignorant because I'm sure half the team is from Canada, or at least the majority from up north. Obviously, you got kids that have been skating all their lives, blah blah blah. And,
correct. Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter where the team technically is. But it's got to bother some Canadians just a little tiny bit that the winners from Tampa, Florida.
Dude, there is this constant underlying passive aggressiveness towards the United States that I've talked to you guys about before, the Canadians harbor. And this plays into it. Like I mentioned a few shows ago when I talked to you guys, the next NHL expansion franchise was going to be between Seattle and Quebec City. And, of course, Seattle gets it. So, yeah, just one little extra dig that Canadians don't like. But just to give you the numbers, Tom, on their roster, it's like a 28, 29-man roster. There's 6 European players, European or Russian, 6 American players, and 14 born Canadian players.
I got you.
There you go.
So, yeah, majority Canadian.
So that makes sense to me that we were asking, because I said that, you know, there are 2 or North American, or I should say American teams that were playing in the finals, and I was like, why are they playing this stupid bare naked ladies? Oh my God! Those guys, my God, they're human
people.
They're human Muppets. My Lord, they're
Get
just
Alanis in there.
Yes. That would have been fantastic. And she's like, they're really talented musicians, excellent songwriters. They're just not my thing, but Alanis, way better.
Yeah.
I hate the bare naked ladies too, Dan. I'm with you 100% on that. Just a side note here.
Or even better, get Mike Myers to stand up there. Don't even do the anthem, and then just get Kanye West to stand next to him like they did on that telethon.
The George Bush.
And
Hurricane
say,
Katrina.
George Bush does not care about black people, and then watch him want to That is the best video. Oh, it's good.
Because Mike Myers is a recluse, and he didn't even want to be there to begin with, but he felt it was obligated because it was horrible. But so he's there, and then so this guy doesn't even want to be doing this, then now you got Kanye, his bipolar.
I'm dead sexy. Oh God, I'll punch him in his face.
So Josh, I want to ask you about, since we're talking NHL a little bit, are there any NHL players that are from the South? Like, obviously,
dude, are you serious? This was exactly what I was going to talk about. Florida-born NHL players was one of my topics.
Oh, my God. Andrea and I talked about that while watching the finals because she asked me, do you think that it's possible for a Florida – this is the question that she asked me.
Yeah.
Is it possible for a guy that's born in Central Florida to, like, work out, like, pre-COVID at, like, RDV
Sure.
and
At
get
the ice
good,
rink,
and then maybe your dad's like, look, you got the juice. We're gonna travel, or I'll move you up north so you have more
get you in a camp or something. Yeah,
Is that how it works?
Yeah, you guys nailed that. So weird that you guys thought of that. So I got a list here of the top 7. There's some notable NHL players. No big superstars. Probably in recent years, the most memorable NHL player from Florida is Dallas Eakins, another guy by the name of Ryan Carpenter. He's just up the road from you guys. In Oviedo, Garnet Hathaway. He's from Naples, Florida. So yeah, there's like 10 notable ones. A lot of them, none of them really made it to superstardom. But there's actually a new draft player who is coming out of Tampa. His name's Nathan Smith, and local Tampa kid, and he's being looked at by the Winnipeg Jets. So Florida-born NHL players do exist.
I think you should be able to enter an academy like they do in MLS. And I don't think Tampa should have to give up a hometown kid. I think Tampa should get dibs regionally. I've always thought this.
Yeah.
Like, if you live in
to support
Tampa,
homegrown.
I feel like, okay, the Jets can look at him all day long, but sorry, we get first right of refusal because he's a Tampa guy.
Yeah.
I
like that.
They do that in MLS where, like, you get hometown or homegrown players, and I think Adidas might sponsor it. I might be wrong on that.
Yeah, it's a program where if there's a hometown player,
you can go through that academy.
Then the sponsor or MLS will actually kick in money to help you pay the player, and therefore the player will make more if he stays hometown than go anywhere else.
To me, it gives it more like
this guy is from here.
Yeah, it gives you more of a you want to see him do well. You know, like I love it when players come home. You know, the whole LeBron thing in Cleveland. I mean, it's great drama.
Yeah. And also, Josh, I talked to a BDM that's a hockey coach recently. And I started interviewing him about.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It was actually in my pool.
You interviewed a man in your pool?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is this the Colorado sweetie that you ignored your family for?
And he was telling me I think he's from Canada originally, and he was telling me that there's something to kids that grow up in like winter areas, up north or whatever, in Canada, like they can play better because they develop their skills on ponds and frozen lakes by their house. So they're used to playing in a more compact, tight area. So therefore, their stick and puck handling
and how they
skills,
cut the skates and everything,
are better equipped than someone who trained in a stereotypical ice rink because there's more space or whatever. They're used to that space. That the kids that grew up playing on lakes and ponds near their house, like on the way home from school, you bring your skates, like the stereotype of like some Canadian kid, and then they throw on their skates and they play hockey in a pond. But because those ponds are way smaller and tighter, that they're just their skills are developed better than the people that train in
That's
traditional
how I feel
ice rinks.
sort of like with my romantic life with larger women. I trained I trained exclusively in my earlier years on your larger ladies. I knew all about them. I climbed the mountains. I rode up and down the bags of nickels, as they say. And now I've settled down on a normal, like a skinny fit woman. It's a little bit. I think I'm a better player because of it.
They call you the Sherpa.
Yeah, they do.
I know why.
I give them the Sherpa Derpa.
That's definitely true, Tom. I guess, it's like just kind of more organic, right? Like I did the same thing. Obviously, I didn't make it to the NHL, but grew up playing on ponds. It's kind of like that organic start to it. I guess you can compare it to baseball, too, because the great ball players that Dominican Republic produces. Same idea, right? Rough and tumble, no gloves, old school. And not your quote-unquote cushy type scenario. So that's definitely something to be said for that.
Even players that we talk to in MLS, I'm trying to...
You come from a poor nation and you're playing with a juice box that's blowing up our garbage ball. And then when they give you a real sock... I'm serious.
We talked to a guy from Jamaica that would literally take...
Jamie Chin.
Yeah, it was Jamie Chin would take... it was Dennis. They would take they would take juice boxes and wrap them with duct tape to hold it together and go for it.
Well, I'm sure they both did it. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, they're brothers. But think about it. If you're playing with a trash ball and then someone gives you a real ball, then you're like, oh my God, it's like, running with weights on. As soon as you take the weights off, you're faster than everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think there has to be something to be said with if you're given limited resources and you train doing that, then once you go to the real thing, you're just better than everybody else. But it makes sense that there are Florida players or from the South players, but they've never reached that real high.
Yeah, exactly. Just playing in a more higher, stressful. But something to be said. Kind of like me with you guys know I do freelance voiceover work. I'm cutting my teeth and getting into it on the Tuttle podcast. So I'm really in the trenches right now working with Tuttle. But hopefully, as my voiceover.
I'm sorry.
Let's talk about this.
I heard one of his commercials on there. I've been listening, and Josh, I heard one of your commercials, and then it reminded me that I never got back to you about the voiceover work that I need. And
that's the only reason I did it, Dan.
And I'm literally just gonna keep dangling the carrot of you working for a big superstar podcast like ours. But
I'm doing my time.
Much like an intern, I have no intention of ever following through. I'm not a man of my word.
Yeah. We immediately forget as soon as we go. Like, I was about to say go to lunch. We already had lunch. That's how little I know what's going on.
When we go for second lunch.
yeah. Then we forget about that we talked to you, and they were like, "What are we supposed to do? Like, let's get out of here. Go home."
Like the first thing I said.
Who's the boss? Me. Go home.
The first thing I said when I got in here today was like, "Can we take Columbus Day off?"
That was a great idea.
That was the first order of business.
I gave Daniel a raise.
Gave me $1,000 check for that. I don't even know what I said.
He's the owner of the company.
I don't know what it said.
Sorry, Josh. What else we got?
That's okay. All right. The other thing I was going to talk about, guys, was crazy Canadian commercial airline pilots. I know, Dan, you've struggled with the fear of flying.
I do, yeah.
You seem to be getting a little bit better with it, though.
Yeah.
That's good. I fly all the time. I fly every 2 or 3 weeks. So literally when I'm flying, I don't even pay attention to the fact that I'm flying. I'm just so used to it.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen the show Mayday? It's about airline crashes.
No, why would I watch that?
It's my favorite show.
Dana watches it every morning.
I'll show you my Mayday tattoo the next time we're together.
I have literally watched the show Mayday while flying.
Wow.
Now, there's a weird part of me that says, okay, this is so screwed up, but I know. If I'm watching Mayday on the plane, for some reason in my brain, I think this will never go down. This plane will never go down because I'm watching Mayday on it. It's too. It just will never happen.
Yeah. Too ironic.
So then I go the opposite direction where I'm like, I have to watch Mayday every time I'm on a plane because the one time I don't watch it, I go down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or
that's how
you proclaim to people like this plane will crash. Then you'll know like no way I predicted it. So
Right.
I won't. Yeah.
I do that. Yeah. I also jump
Mayday.
It.
Go ahead.
The plane crash thing is just like the lottery thing and just like a lot of these things where statistically...
It's the worst lottery, though.
Statistically impossible, so unlikely, you should never worry about it. But because it happens, people can't not think that it's not going to happen to them because they saw it. Yeah. It's like, well, it happened to someone, but then you're like, yeah, but statistically, that it's nearly impossible for it to happen. You'd be like... Yeah, but I saw it. I saw the guy with the check on the news. That could be me.
Right,
and you're like, but that's not how statistics work.
Yeah.
But that's hard for everybody to get through. Like, no matter what.
Yeah. For sure. So, the two instances I was going to tell you guys about involving commercial airline pilots from Canada, both were actually featured in episodes of Mayday. And both incidents involving Canadian planes, they ran out of fuel on 2 different occasions, which is for a flight to run out of fuel in recent years is just completely unheard of.
Well, you guys are too nice to ask for a fill-up. You're
my God.
Hey, you need any gas? No, I'm good, eh? We're good. Well, I think we'll make it, eh?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? The metric system kind of played into one of them. I know you guys are always busting on the metric system. So the first one I was going to tell you about was Air Canada Flight 143. That was going from Montreal to Edmonton in 1983. And the reason it ran out of fuel is because they were just switching from the imperial system to the metric system. And they did the whole math conversion wrong on pounds versus kilograms. And lo and behold, these guys took off from Montreal with less than half the amount of fuel they thought they were going to have.
I don't like I don't like the fuel by weight thing.
That's how they do it.
No, I know. I know that's how they do it, but I don't like that because, like, when I'm driving, I pull up, and I just put as much in there as it takes to go as much as the thing goes.
Yeah.
Like a plane should, you just
fill it up.
Plan for having as many people on it as you're going to have, and fill it all the way up.
It'll stop when it hits the thing.
Yeah. And
exactly. I don't know why they do that.
Don't give it an extra squeeze because it'll juice out the side, and then you got to get one of those blue paper towels and wipe it off, and then you stink like gas all day.
So I know you're not a pilot, Josh, but wouldn't you assume there would be some sort of fuel gauge with?
There was. I'm glad you mentioned that, Tom. Yes, there was definitely a fuel gauge, but it was a new, again, with just coming into the metric system, and they had completely new software updates, new computer systems for these new Boeing 67s back then. And so there was an indicator, but it apparently was tied into another system they've been having issues with. So the pilots didn't trust it. The indicator was telling them they didn't have enough fuel, but they didn't trust it. And like a lot of plane crashes, it's never just one thing, right? It's always a sequence of events. So they were supposed to have 20,000 liters of fuel. They only left with 5,000. Their gauge was saying, hey, boys, you're low on fuel, but they're like, new computer software, we don't trust it. And away they went. Next thing, over Ontario, boom, engines out, and they actually did have a happy ending. They were able to land it on an abandoned Air Force strip in Gimli, Manitoba. It was actually being used for drag racing. So these all these Canadian rednecks and little kids are running around on this track. They're drag racing kids on bicycles. And there's an airplane, a 767, gliding onto the runway. And he was literally, I think it's called slipshotting. So he basically used his rudders and turned the plane almost completely sideways to burn off speed. So imagine you're on a track enjoying a nice day of drag racing, and you see a 767, completely silent, by the way, no engines, gliding sideways towards the track. And just at the last minute, pilot Bob Pearson whips the front around and made a successful landing on an abandoned airstrip where they were doing drag racing.
That's pretty cool.
Now, do you...
The trust thing is weird for me because I trust, like, if I'm flying and they're like, look, our tank is totally full of gas. I'm like, I don't trust that. We're on empty. But they did it the opposite. They're like, we're on empty. I don't trust that. We're on full. I don't know. My trust is a negative trust in all aspects of trust. It's never a positive trust.
Two things with this. One, you would think there would be some sort of alarm that would go off, similar to when my car gets low on gas. It's like the red light comes on, and then I know that...
mine goes, bing, and then this thing pops up, and he goes, would you like me to find you the closest gas station?
Oh, yeah, you got that
and
real
I'm like,
good
yes,
TikTok.
and I hit the button, and then it drives me there.
Yeah, so it's, you would think they'd build in some sort of warning system that gives you... Like, in cars, when the red light comes on, you don't just conk out. They built in,
like 20 miles.
Yeah, 20, 30. I mean, sometimes it's like, I think now because of dodos, they put you can go a long time because I push it.
In that griff truck.
And hey, zero's
I can have a
end.
full tank and I'm almost shutting down.
Yeah, well, your Canadian truck. It's not the same. It's like with mine, it goes low, 0 miles.
Yeah.
Then it goes dashes.
Oh, yeah. But even when you get to dashes, I know
even
I have
when I'm
like
on
10
dashes,
miles.
I'm hauling ass.
Yeah. So you would think that there would be something like that just so if that alarm goes off, the pilots know, okay, we've got 15 minutes of flight time before we have to... It shouldn't just immediately conk out. You're like, oh, no engines. And second thing, although the pilot did an awesome job, obviously, just gliding, he's slowing down the plane, landed in some drag strip in the middle of nowhere. Do you even bother congratulating him? Because you're like, congratulations for saving everybody's lives. Also your fault that this happened.
Yeah, it's kind of a wash. It's kind of a net zero because it's kind of like, oh my God, these heroes. They nicknamed that plane the Gimli Glider because it landed in Gimli, Manitoba. But then at the same point, it's like, you guys messed up your calculations. But I think the blame was mostly put on the ground crew in Montreal as far as the biggest screw up. And then partially the pilots not trusting their gauges again. But I think the ground crew was the ones who got most of the liability on that.
Here's the thing I think every pilot should do. When a gauge tells you something and you think it's wrong, you should start calling someone to figure out if it is wrong or not.
Well, you can call back to Manitoba or whatever and be like, hey, get Jerry.
Yeah.
Hey, Jerry. And you're like, Jerry.
How much fuel did you put in there?
Did you put the new software on the new gauge? Oh, God, I blew it. I'm sorry. All right. Thank you, Jerry. Bye. Okay.
Something. Yeah. Tell someone. Don't just be like, you do the move where you tap it a couple times and then you're like, must be broken. You're like, I'm basically take gambling everybody's life, right? Like when you say must be broken, you know that if it isn't broken, you're gonna run out of fuel and possibly crash into the Canadian wilderness.
Exactly.
And
then the fact that it happened again, like in the early 2000s, it was another Canadian flight, and it was going from Toronto to Lisbon, Portugal. It was Air Transat flight, and they literally ran out of fuel right over the Atlantic Ocean. Now you can imagine, when you're in a plane and there's just a constant background sound. And again, they did a happy ending. They did land it. And you talk to some of the passengers who were on that flight. Just picture being 30, 40,000 feet in the air over the Atlantic Ocean and complete silence. Nothing.
Sounds nice.
I mean, I guess. Oh.
Josh, I think I saw like a 2020 special on this or some sort of documentary about this plane because they said they ran out of fuel or whatever. And the people were sleeping or whatever. It was a transatlantic flight or whatever. And then people were waking up, being like, "God, it's quiet in here." Like,
exactly. Dead silence.
And somebody turn on some Hoobastank. It's too quiet.
But they ended up gliding a ridiculous long way because they were at full altitude, like 33,000 feet.
Dude. Yeah, it was like halfway across the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, you could just keep going and going and going,
like,
right?
They were obviously continuously falling, but they glided for like an hour or something, like some ridiculous amount of time, and they landed.
If you and I are the pilots and Samantha's in the back sleeping, we're flying and we run out of gas. We got a nice hour of like drinking out of the minibar before we have to like spring it to everybody in the back, right?
I don't even know if you tell them.
Well, you're going to have to tell them because you got some people on the exits, those ones that fold out into big inflatable slides.
So they landed in an island airport.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. I
wanted them to hit the water.
They managed to make it to some like tiny island airport off the coast
I've been there.
Europe or something.
The Azores. Yeah, it was an Air Force base on the Azore Islands, which was really good too because Air Force bases typically have really long runways, which they needed pretty much every inch of that runway. And again, another Canadian plane runs out of fuel and makes a successful landing.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So what else we got, Josh?
Well, back to the hockey thing, real quick. You guys familiar with hockey nicknames at all? Because I got hockey nicknames for you. Sam might be a little more familiar with it based on watching Letterkenny. So I just want to let you guys know.
That's all my knowledge.
Yeah. So you guys, like Dan, your hockey nickname would be Denny. That would be your locker room name. Tom, your hockey nickname would be Vanner. And Sam, your hockey nickname I deem to be Harzy. Denny, Vanner, and Harzy. There's your new hockey nicknames.
All right, I'll be Harzy.
Harzy's cool.
It's like Shorzy.
Yeah.
So what do you base this off of? I know it's our last name.
You guys already call me Denny.
It's
Denny.
It's our last names, but with a flair to it, or like is a pig Latin?
Yeah, it's usually last name. Sometimes they'll take the first name, but yeah, just taking one of the first or last name, and you just add a little flair to it. An E, an or an SY.
So what's Butler?
He would be Buddy.
Okay, or Travie.
Buttles, maybe.
Buttles.
Butler, Traver, Buttles, Travie, Traver. I like Buttles.
Buttles? I like the Buttles too.
Copy.
I still like hockey athletes as far as if you're putting all the different stereotypical athletes in one,
Are we having a battle royale?
Not even battle royale.
Because they're big, dude.
Yeah. But I just like the overall stereotype of the Canadian real man missing teeth that just been just gnarled by.
I forget the guy Andrea and I were looking at.
Yeah.
He had no front teeth.
Yeah.
He had long hair, not an unattractive guy, but just obviously rough and tumble. Beard. And then I go, God damn, how big is that guy? And then Andrea looks him up and she goes, oh, he's 6'6", 265. And I'm like,
6'6".
Well, he doesn't look like it. And right about the time I said that, I go, but he looks big, but not that big. He skates over to a normal guy like a coach.
Right.
And I swear to God, he was 5 feet taller than the guy below him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is a giant man.
Imagine that guy sprinting on ice skates and then trucking you as hard as he
Dude,
could.
So
the
fast.
scariest job in the world is a hockey referee.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Tiny
Yeah,
visor.
those guys get clipped.
They
Yeah.
Tiny-
are fast
Yeah.
and they have some finesse on those skates, man.
Tiny
Yeah.
visor, tiny skate, tiny pants.
You know
That's
what?
all you got. You don't have any
They get
pads.
smashed up against the walls all the time.
You know what? Out of all sports, let's talk about this. I never thought about this. Out of all sports, do you think the hockey referees are the majority former players?
They have to be. The way they skate, they
Yeah.
have to be.
Because
Yeah, I would imagine
they're
they.
incredible skaters.
They're not new to skating.
yeah. Because
No.
I don't think that is the same for like football. Because I don't know if
These
like,
guys are old men too, Tom.
I
Like,
think-
they're not like some of the guys. You look at them and you're like, "Holy crap!" But the guy skates like
They skip over a puck like it's nothing.
Yeah, they do little moves.
hip-hop.
Yeah.
Do you think baseball, like umpires, are former baseball? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sure
I would
they are,
imagine.
but do you think to the amount? Because like I know NFL referees seem like a bunch of nerds, right? They're
Yeah.
not really
Yeah, they
former
just study the
players.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look like young grandpa.
Yeah, they're,
Yeah.
or there's that
Fit grandpa.
They're
Yeah.
they're the fit grandpas, but I don't know if necessarily they're former football
Yeah, I don't think
players.
so.
And then I think probably soccer refs, right?
Oh
Because,
yeah. A lot
all
of those are
soccer
players.
refs,
Yeah. And well, you see that a lot with coaches, refs, and then also
Coaches and
like a lot of your staff that you see were, and you know this because you and I worked for an MLS team, like in whether it's uniforms, whether it's, sports medicine, you go anywhere, that guy probably got to a certain level and just couldn't make it anymore. And then he
went-
just fell
he
into.
morphed to whatever.
Yeah, it could be player relations, it's.
He wanted to be around the game. Yeah. I'm sure that's.
Hey,
most
Tom.
of them. Huh?
Tom, how much do you think NHL referees make a year?
Okay, so
Just grandpa responding. Hey.
I'm
Hey, Tom. Hey.
I'm watching Gunsmoke.
He was in the middle of his grandpa thoughts and you called his name and he went, hey.
Josh was like, shut up. What?
Well, you shut up, man.
Yeah, exactly.
so how much do hockey refs make? Let me see.
Come on, tell me.
So I'm gonna do the
I'll go
math.
high, 70 grand.
Okay, I'm gonna go 55K.
Sam, you going to weigh in on this? Or
I Googled it, but I haven't looked at it yet. I feel like they must get paid a lot. We're talking strictly NHL, right?
Yeah, NHL referees.
I'm going to say...
Starting salary? Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to say, starting salary for an NHL...
What'd you say, Tom?
I said 55. You said
And
75.
I said 70.
70.
I'm gonna go a cool 100.
All right, you went high. You went real high. All right.
Samantha is the closest.
Yes!
Starting salary is $165,000 a year, and
Whoa.
they top out at
knew it.
$360,000, $360 a year.
Like if you're a head
referee.
ref or like
Wow.
you're in charge.
Yeah.
of,
I knew it
These
had to
dudes
be a
get around a
lot.
lot.
It's dangerous, man.
You know why? Yeah, I guess I.
It's also you don't ever really see much controversy with those guys either. It's not you don't see the guys. They'll give them an earful, but they kind of respect it a little bit more. It's weird.
I guess
And it's super physical. It's not like
Yeah.
you're just standing there watching
Well,
it.
there's
you're
rules,
moving like the
but
whole
there's
time.
also protocols for letting it go. I mean, even in that final game, they let them knock
Let 'em
around a
get
little
at
bit.
it, yeah.
And then Andrea, my wife really likes hockey. I didn't know this. And she's like, I wonder if these guys are going to go to the box. And neither of them did. They got to slap each other around a little bit, straighten their helmets, back on the ice. Let's get
Yeah.
this done. It's
And-
pretty neat.
Also, you have to be an insanely good skater.
Yeah.
Like so that
you have
plays
to have
into
a
it.
skill, yeah.
And I also forgot, like, you have to pay refs a certain amount for them not to be able to get bribed or, like, on the take for gambling, because I'm sure just like any sport, there's some subjectivity when it comes to calls. And you start weighing some calls towards one team, you definitely can point shave or at least affect the outcome of the game.
So least athletic referees, 4 games go in this order: baseball, basketball, football, soccer, hockey.
So hockey's the most athletic. Yeah,
I think so.
Soccer.
I think baseball's your fattos, right?
Yeah.
And then I still
What
think...
about like your tennis, your volleyball?
They're sitting the whole time.
Yeah, that's the laziest.
Okay,
That's lazy. I put them up there with baseball.
Those don't even count?
The football ones, they always
Those are a hobby.
The footballs just get clowned on. They get knocked over. Their hats fall off.
Yeah.
They look stupid.
The sideline judge has to take off running sometimes, but
not as much as soccer referees do.
Oh, no,
they run.
No.
So soccer and hockey are your big boy referees.
Mm-hmm.
And even
I would say hockey's the most dangerous too.
Yeah.
I mean, you always get that prospect of that puck coming at you at 110 miles an hour.
The puck and the giant men.
Rubber.
Yeah. Also,
giants.
I feel like basketball refs run more than NFL refs because think about how many plays.
I think they stand. One stands under the goal the
but,
whole time.
But
that guy's just standing back.
Well, that's the goal guy.
Yeah. I bet.
I want to do that job.
Some of the refs have to run back and forth, follow the action, and in the NFL, there's so many timeouts and stuff, and
that's true.
The ball's only in play a certain minutes of the game, so every once in a while, you got to run down the sidelines when a wide receiver's getting a long bomb. But
Jackal weighing in from our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. He says lacrosse is top 3 for sure. Incorrect. Lacrosse is not a real sport. That's a fact. Look it up. Look it up.
The last exciting thing lacrosse did was the Duke lacrosse.
That's terrible.
I'm just saying that was the only time lacrosse has been in the news for a sexual allegation, sexual assault allegation that was false. And that's the last time I've ever heard about lacrosse.
Here's all I needed to know. Lacrosse is not cool. You want to know why? Because they named a Buick after it. Not cool.
Also, when one of your sports instruments is a stick with a tiny net.
Yeah.
Stupid.
You know who else uses that? SpongeBob when he's catching jellyfish.
Yeah. And the guy at the Walmart aquarium section was getting your goldfish.
Hey, I killed the first one.
Yeah. Take that lacrosse.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong. Did you guys have like a lacrosse team for a minute in Orlando, or did I dream that?
We did.
Yeah.
We had the best lacrosse player in the world, Casey Musgrave. I forget his name.
Yeah, I went to. He
has an Xbox game. It's like Casey somebody's lacrosse.
I did some halftime shows.
Yeah, we did. You put the pads on. I think you had a dog bite you. The standard. You give me the standards. Give me attack dog. Give me stormtroopers, and then give me I don't know, jump over something. Goofy.
Yeah. I did it. I gave him the
you gave him what you do in sales here. You give him the 3 options. I can give you option number 1 is an attack dog that will diarrhea on the field. Option number 2 is a group of grown men that dress as stormtroopers that will eventually get bullied. And the most expensive option you can pick is the tribute to America, where I jump over something and land in boxing.
That's all I got.
Your choice. 1 of 3.
Yeah. All right, Josh, we gotta go.
Oh, bye-bye.
I like it when he does. I like it when he does. See, we've trained him really well.
You should have said bye-bye A, but it's fine.
I don't like when you listen too much. So you know our tricks. I like it like it's a secret trick. I'm like, wait a minute.
How do you know the code word to get it?
Wait, he's taking the power away.
We got to change it now.
Whoops. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
So on the line with us right now, a gentleman we haven't talked to in a little bit, and his voice sounds great.
It's always good to hear this particular gentleman. He puts me in a good mood. He's very funny.
Calling in from Skype, and if you want to check him out on the video version of this show, just go to twitch.tv/Tom and Dan. We broadcast live every day, or you can check out the replays on Twitch anytime you want.
On Twitch or YouTube. Just search Tom and Dan Live. It's our good friend, Mr. Jeff Howe. What's up, Jeff?
Who is this?
You want to explain now? So we haven't talked to you in a long time, and then you text us, and then I start clowning on you, and I won't go into it, but I'm just clowning on you about getting a different job or us like not doing the podcast anymore. Then you get on Twitter, and then Tom starts clowning on you, and then I guess I should ask you, why do you continue to be our friend when we treat you so poorly?
You know what? It's because it's my older brother kind of got me into this what we call torture thing.
Yes.
Where you just torture your friends, and you appreciate I love doing it so much to other people that I appreciate it when it's done to me. So that's why I love you guys, because you're so good at it. Daniel's a little better than Tom, but Tom's learning. He's young.
Yeah,
he's
younger than me.
new to radio, and I love the guy, but he's learning. He's stealing my bits.
Yeah, he is. I find.
I'm kidding.
Well, someone's got to carry it on when, you know.
Well, I got to defer to Samantha here. Now, Sam, you you monitor the show. You're the show's producer. I don't use the term executive producer because this is a myth busted. There's no such thing as that. It's not.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, when you say that, it's just, I don't even know what it is. It's just letters in front of the actual job, which is producer. So Sam is our producer, and you have witnessed Tom, dare I say, start his metamorphosis into a younger, slightly younger, but just as grumpy Jeff Howe.
It's true.
This guy hates fun, Jeff. He craps on everything.
He's got readers now.
He's got readers, little tiny reader glasses that he wears everywhere. He lost 15 pairs of earbuds this year. He, let's see, what else have you done? You hate everything fun. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to go anywhere. If we want to
when you call his name, he goes, hey. Like an old people.
If you're like Tom, he's like, oh, what? You scare him like he's asleep watching Andy Griffith on the old TV, loud as hell. House is set at 86 degrees.
I want to be left alone.
He works out his yard. Now, just stares at the grass.
Do you feel that maybe you are naturally stealing some of the lines? Borrowing. I'll say borrowing. Some of the traditional grumpy lines that you have heard, and maybe subconsciously you've picked up from Jeff Howe from working with him for years, and now maybe that's why you're kind of using a bit of his vernacular?
Yeah. It's kind of like, you ever seen the movie Parasite? Where
is that the one where the lady falls in love with a waterman?
No, that's Waterman.
What's the one where the guy's in the tank and the lady falls in love with him, and then she gets in there and then he uses his fish penis?
It's fish. It's something. Fish man.
I think it's called Fishman and the Lady.
Yeah. No, that's it. It's lady.
The lady in
the lake. Lady in the lake.
No, it's
Lady in the Fish.
I think it's Squid Man and Marcia.
Anyway.
The Shape of Water.
Oh, that's stupid.
Nothing like Parasite.
That's not it.
Anyway, but the Parasite, so I'm slowly morphing, and soon, like, I'll get Max and Tommy to play some sort of instrument and with Jeff Howe, and then soon
like Jeff's son that plays in a company.
Like Max will be the new Tom Thumb or whoever plays sax for
Tom Thumb. That's you.
Okay, Jeff. He doesn't listen to anything you say. I bet you that Tom doesn't know the name of anybody in your band.
No.
And dare I say, you don't even know the name of Jeff's son.
Yes,
What's Jeff's son's name?
Come on.
I'm gonna get an email
We've said
about
it
this.
in the last hour.
I know they're Daryl Fingers and Tom Thumb.
Daryl. Okay, Jeff Howe's son is not named Daryl.
No, but there's a Fingers and there's a.
Daryl Fingers is what you get on special at Wet Wings on Thursday.
I believe you're looking for Jimmy Fingers.
No, okay. Yeah. All I'm saying is soon I'll morph into Jeff Howe, and then I'll take over what I really want, which is.
Shape of Water.
I want that fish penis.
He wants that fish penis.
I want to be in the tank, and then we run away. But it's during the act, I'm grossed out.
This marriage sucks. This marriage sucks. All I do is wet your gills.
Also, I don't want to look it in the face when it's mounting me.
Put a bag on your head if you're going to mount me, fish.
It's gross.
Yuck.
Your skin.
Ew, where is your fish butt?
Put a towel so your fish pelvis doesn't touch me.
The worst part of dating a fish man would be that as he's going number 2, he'd walk through the house and then eeventually it would just break off and then he'd eat it.
And he just floats in the house.
And then he'd turn around and eat it because he's too stupid to know that it fell out of him.
God.
Sorry, Jeff.
No, you're great. I'm enjoying it. So
and this is the time when Jeff goes, "Yep, shouldn't have texted."
Should have waited another month.
So Jeff, I know I've seen you've been playing now. I think literally last time we talked to you, you were doing virtual shows because there was nothing open, everything was shut down. But as things start opening back up and they're figuring out how to do it safely with social distancing and masks and stuff like that, you've been playing. Tell us about Back at the House of Blues, right?
Yeah, House of Blues. And when we started, they started back in July, 1st of July. And it was really slow for about the first, I would say 6 weeks. It was just really tough. All Disney Springs it was barren. I mean, you'd see 2 people walk by, where it used to be just throngs of people coming through. And what happened was they kept paying us, which was pretty amazing because I'm not a big corporate guy. I don't like big corporations, but Live Nation paid all their employees during the pandemic while they were closed, except for the musicians. But when they started back, they paid us every week. Anyway, we're starting to get crowds now. It's worth their while to keep us coming, and so we're there every Thursday. Cool. And it's good. It's been hot as hell though.
Yeah, well, it's getting better. Is pretty good, but I heard this is going to be the one day we have of winter.
Is it nice today? Because seriously, I haven't even looked out, but is it nice?
I mean, it's nice enough for everybody to talk about it on social media, which typically means it's pretty nice.
It was like high 60s in the morning. It's going to be like 78. Yeah.
It was like 64 this morning. I put on a sweatshirt, walked outside, took it off. We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
But it's the first glimpse of fall. Yeah. And we're like, whoa, pretty nice.
Yeah, any girl that's about a 5, 6.5's got her Uggs on today. You know how it goes.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So that is cool of them to invest some money into artists and the musicians and
us.
Yeah. And it seems like people are learning a new way of just getting on with it. You can go see Jeff play a House of Blues. You know, you got to wear a mask. You got to wear a mask until you sit down, and then take your mask off, drink and eat, and then wear a mask. You know, so it's like a small inconvenience to get back to enjoying life again.
Let me ask you guys a question, a morality question that I dealt with over the weekend when I was at the resort when we were on vacation. If you guys saw me drinking through my mask, is that bad?
Nah.
Because I tried it accidentally.
I know what that means. Got face wasted. And then forgot you were wearing the mask and tried to sit through. Tommy drinks his chocolate milk through.
I got it from Tommy. And so I'm sitting poolside, and I had my mask on because we're getting ready to go. I had already consumed, a couple beers, and we're walking to get cleaned up for dinner, right? I was not drunk, but I was not, feeling any pain. And I forgot I had my my beer in my hand, and I forgot that I had my mask on because our mask, honestly, if you set the sides of them, the sizing right. You don't know you have it on. They're very light. And then they also drink well. It went right through it. And I'm like, I can do this all day. So is that bad? Because all I'm doing is putting my own Corona into my body, right? It's my germs are in the mask.
Yeah. I mean, Fauci would tell you not good, but
Obama Fauci.
It's the new Obama.
Are they mad at that guy?
I don't know.
Apparently so. I mean,
I'm not mad. I just have Fauci.
My God,
blow my ears out.
That's how I say it.
Yeah. How can you be mad at that guy? I mean, you can blow him over with a one exhale.
I saw him at the baseball game.
Well, which is it? On mask or off mask?
He's so cute. He's so he's so tiny. He's so
cute. He looks like Remy from Ratatouille.
Yeah, he
does. So Jeff, you also told us before we started the show, and now you heard it if you are on Twitch, but that you started recording an album that you kind of put off for a while.
Yeah, I put it off. Well, I was doing it bit by bit. See, now Daniel will tell you this. Having a recording studio, you can buy software for $100 and you have a full-blown recording studio in your house. You have everything you need to make it sound like a radio-ready product if you know how to work it.
For sure.
And I've had this for about 12 years now, and the good part about it is you can record anytime you want. The bad part about it is you can record anytime you want. Yeah. So you over the years, I would just do it bits and pieces. Go, I'll do it tomorrow. I can do it tomorrow. I don't, no pressure for time. So anyway, then I bought the bar, and my life became 24/7 losing money for 3 years.
Yeah.
In the bar thing, and I couldn't record. So when I finished, I said, that's what I'm going to do. So I've been working on the album. I probably will have it close to Christmas time, I hope.
Oh, and nice.
we'll see. But yeah, I'm busting it. I'm busting ass on it. So
Jeff, is it like okay?
It's disgusting.
Let me ask you.
Don't poop on your album. My God.
No. I've run out of sounds to put on it.
I'm not a musician or a writer or anything.
What are you? You told me.
I don't know. Fauci.
Wait, you're Fauci?
Oh, man.
I knew it all along.
But is it where like I can imagine if a writer like starts writing a book, right, and then
right.
And then he starts writing, and then years later he goes and like in little increments, and then let's say he finishes it in like 5 years, right? I wonder if you go back and you look at what you wrote 5 years ago, if it seems like dated because you got better or something, where you're like, this song that I put on the album is a couple years old, and then maybe your audience wouldn't even know.
All of Jeff's songs are dated, so it doesn't matter.
I guess, what's the difference between finding a fossil that's a million years old or 2 million? It's still a fossil.
I was going to say, because you are right. You are correct in your assumption that if you write something and 10 years go by and it's dated because you were just relating to what that period of your life and what was going on in the world at the time. But those are the only songs I have left.
Okay, yeah. Like,
so I'm recording 10-year-old songs right now.
Like you got a song.
And they're really good. I'm busting ass.
You got a song about the Twin Towers. Gangnam Style.
This one's called Monica's Dress.
I still get people, I'll be playing, and we're talking about 22 years later, and I'll get people, and I'll say, anybody about a request? I'm walking, I'm OJ.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great song.
I love that song.
I love that song too. So
here's what I like about Jeff too.
Jeff also knows that I never liked any of the goof songs as much as I liked his serious music.
Yeah.
And I would say that to Jeff, and then we would both get shushed because we weren't supposed to be talking real music. We were supposed to be doing goof songs.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the time and the place, you know.
Yeah. I've always kind of enjoyed the torture Jeff went through for his entire career.
Write a goofy song
of the drunk, guy at the bar listening to Jeff, and he screams out a request of some goof song from 25 years.
It was usually a Bubba song.
Yeah.
It's a bear song.
But here's what I like about Jeff is that he'll play it with full enthusiasm, but you know he's dead inside.
Yeah.
He also clowns on you.
Oh, he'll clown on you.
Oh, yeah. He'll clown you good if you make him play it. But he'll play it full enthusiasm, clown you dead inside.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. When I started playing, I was in a band with Bubba and all those singers, and everybody was a choir singer. They were all like great singers. And I had this, kind of wrecked voice. So I got one song for 5 years. I had one song in 3 1-hour shows a night. I got one song a night. So what I did was I said, to sing more songs, I'm going to have to eliminate everybody in the band that sings better than me. And that's why I sang by myself for 20 years. But now I'm happy to be singing anything. So here comes the beer song.
Just let them eat cake.
Fishing ain't for pussy.
Yeah, when you're on the stage and somebody asks for a song, you're just play it, whatever. The gig.
So now, Jeff, I'm curious into like a lot has changed throughout.
What kind of mask do you wear, Jeff? Is it an old shoe on your?
Come on.
Oh yeah, you're right.
No, I'm being dead serious.
I saw Jeff at a wedding, and he was dressed like he was going to Walmart on a Thursday.
I can't picture you wearing a mask because I've only seen you wear firefighter shirt, tiny shorts, long socks, Oakley shoes.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
And I still have them. I still do. I retread.
Yeah, those Oakley shoes. I mean, Oakley makes glasses, but while you idiots are out there buying the glasses, you should have been buying the shoes because they will last you 35 years.
Oh, yeah,
they're great shoes. They look great, too.
That's big O.
They're huge, though.
You're like, what is that?
Here's the tough part, okay? So, I'm kind of an old, I was born in the 50s, 1950s, you know that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, even in the 70s when bell bottoms were hot, I wore straight leg jeans.
Yeah.
The problem is my feet are so big that the ankle part of the Oakley shoes won't let my straight legs go over them. So they stand on top of them, and I look like Little Abner. How about that for a reference?
I know Little Abner.
I'm so sorry.
Back to my
Sadie
question, Jeff.
Hawkins Day.
So you've been releasing music for a while.
Yeah.
When did you put out your first album?
1988.
So between 1988 and let's say, are you planning to release this album 2021, 2020?
He said first of the year.
Well,
You're not listening to a word the man says. You're not listening to a word the man says.
Yeah, I'm shooting for the end of the year, but probably it'll be released posthumously, probably 2023.
So the point is that from 88 to 2021, let's say, a lot has changed, and the way people release music has changed. But do you, Jeff, are you going to change? Or are you giving the standard? You got X amount of songs, like let's say 15 tracks. On an album, all things, because now people are releasing singles all the time, or people are releasing it so you could digital download. How are you going to release your next album?
Well, here's the way, and as you can tell, I'm not a great businessman. What I'm shooting for is I'm going to make a box of, you can get them from True Disc, 1,000 CDs. And I'm just going to leave them on my front porch and come and get them. And
I like that too. That's like an honor system.
I mean, because are you going
to put a penny in, put a penny out?
Yeah. Leave a penny, take a penny.
Because honestly, does anybody buy a CD?
Yeah, I know
a physical CD. Seriously,
I know people that do. Yeah,
I haven't even put a CD into a CD player in more than 2 years. I think I don't even maybe more than that. Like for any reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
So
I have to agree with that.
Yeah, I'm not doing CDs.
Yeah. It's all digital, right?
Yeah, it's all digital. Yeah. And you know the thing is,
what about a couple pieces of vinyl? You know, like for yourself.
I never liked vinyl.
Okay.
I didn't like vinyl. I was big on cassettes.
Cassettes are back right now too. By the way,
huge.
They are. I'm not sure why, but they are.
Jeff, they're huge right now. Cassettes are like exploding.
Yeah, but with hipsters, not Jeff's audience. Jeff's audience.
No, I know.
Well, Jeff's audience might also have cassette players still.
Yeah, that's true. But most of them have died of COVID.
I
don't know.
That's why we're so lucky to be talking to you right now.
Here's the craziest thing is, I was doing the live stream thing, and when I started out, it was killer. I mean, I had about 200 people a night, 200 people for the first several weeks, and then it started ebbing off some people, the newness of it.
Sure.
And I got down to where I have 49 people that tune in every week. Before I stopped it, 40 every week they tune in. Those 49 are going to buy my released digital songs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If they're alive by 2021.
Well, I'd be closer to like 42.
Yeah. Jeff is similar to us. Like we have the same,
same guys,
78 people on Twitch that watch us every day, and that's all you need, really.
Yeah.
Like
they're so nice. I mean, they build your ego up, and nowadays, I've made enough money doing this, even though I lost all of it in the, the bar thing. Mm. Well, my house is paid off. My kids going through college. Everything's paid off, and it's like. I've made enough money. Now when I do it, I do it for the enjoyment and for the money too.
Right. I get it.
Yeah. But it's I see what you're saying. And honestly, nowadays it's getting more and more where everybody realizes your audience numbers don't have to be gigantic. All you need is a small core audience, and everything you want to do. Can be done with a tiny audience. Like they'll buy your stuff, they'll support you, they'll come to your gigs, and that's it. I mean, we've seen it with our company and stuff. There's not a gigantic audience, but the ones that do support us, they support us, and that's all we need. And
if they go,
no, you have to be bad. It's not that much of a.
My whole entire my daughter's living is dependent upon 49 people.
Oh yeah. Do y'all know Sam Cargill? He has a lawn service guy.
Yeah, we know Sam.
Who?
Yeah. He's doing it.
Who is this? Bastard. Why you?
Yeah.
But anyway, his mom, he asked me about 5 years ago if I would come sing for his mom's birthday. And he said, what can I pay you? I said, you don't pay me anything. I'll come. Well, I probably shouldn't say that now. People are going to call it mom's
Sing
birthday.
for my mom's birthday.
Yeah. So, which I'll do. But anyway, I went to his house and I walked in there and I think she was just about 80. She was in his late 70s, early 80s. And I walked in there and he opened the door. He said, Mom, she was a big fan of the Quarry thing.
Okay. Yeah.
And I went in and I went, happy birthday to you, happy birthday. And I played it up. I got right next to her and I rubbed her face like that. I gave her a little kiss on the cheek. Happy birthday to you. And she goes, that's wonderful. Where's Bubba?
Yeah.
Hold on, wait a minute.
But she's my biggest fan on the thing. She is now. Yeah.
She
turned on Bubba. She loves me.
She was a fan of the Quarry and she's dying of old age. Weird.
She doesn't fit the demographic. Well, they're out there.
That's odd.
I love her. Dixie Carr.
Sorry, Sam. Jeff Howell did that. So
give us the plugs rundown. Let's hear the gigs, man.
Yeah.
Well, the gigs are House of Blues every Thursday from 5 to 10 on the patio. It's really, and now that it's cooling off, I have to go outside and check it, but now that it's cooling off, it's really nice.
Yeah.
And that'll be 5 to 10. And then this Friday, I'm at Claremont Brewing Company for Claremont Brewing Company in Claremont from 7 to 10 on Friday night.
Oh,
and
awesome.
Just go to jeffhowell.com, click events, and you'll know exactly where I'm playing. And guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Man, anytime. Let's do this more often and not forget to link up at least once a month, man.
Yeah,
my God.
We'll talk to you around Christmas time. We'll get you to come in. You'll play.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing a telethon this year. We're calling it
Red Rider BB gun. The whole.
And then we're gonna get everybody some teeth, everybody a car, Xboxes.
What's the Thanksgiving song you'll be playing now?
Oh, Alice's Restaurant.
Oh,
we'll do Alice. But
How do you forget
then it'll be a
Alice's
COVID version where it's like Alice's Restaurant only does takeout.
Curbside.
Touchless. I put the sticker on top of your food to make sure you know I didn't put my butthole finger in it. So stupid. What are we doing? What is happening to society? God, tell me.
Oh my God! I'm so tired from watching the debate last night.
Oh God! Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it.
Yeah. Fauci pissed me off.
Fauci. China. What are we doing?
All right, Jeff. We'll talk to you soon. All right, dude.
Love you guys. Thank you very much.
Love you too, man. We'll talk to you soon. That is our good buddy Jeff Howe, live from what appears to be old black and white movie. Yeah, live from an old Three Stooges movie.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Here's the thing about Jeff. He's as real of a person as it comes. Like Jeff is not gonna ever.
He's gonna BS you.
He's not gonna BS you. He's not gonna screw you over. He's not gonna like try to do something deceitful to you. He's not
He's
shady.
a really sweet man.
What you see is what you get, and it's not like oh behind this that's all an act. Behind the scenes, he's a D head or this is Jeff Howe. He's always he's never
John Krasinski.
Like I told that guy
I've known him for 15 plus years.
Like he and I would get into these modes, and I know I've said this before. We get in these modes where we were doing like our own little show, and we're just saying like, so you could come up with the most strange reference or something old, or something like that. And we just get into doing it, and it might have been annoying, but it was super fun for us. I just miss his humor and working with him. It was like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He hated the morning thing though, so I don't blame him. It's hard. It's hard to do. It takes a special person to do that.
All right, let's take a quick bye-bye. Welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
Hello there. I'm Dan.
Mm-hmm. So, me and Daniel have been watching that. What
Apple
is it? Apple TV?
Apple Plus.
Apple Plus. Ted Lasso.
Yeah, it's an Apple original series called Ted Lasso, starring Jason Sudeikis.
Yep, and the whole premise is a Premier League soccer team. The owner goes through a divorce. The wife gets the soccer team in the divorce, and then she basically hires an American, like I think it's like college or
it was like a college or maybe even a high school. It's like low
rung football coach.
And it started as a series of I think it was NBC commercials.
Yeah.
For NBC Sports, where they did commercials, and his original assignment was he was the head coach of Tottenham, the Tottenham Hotspurs.
Yeah.
But they went with a completely fictional team this time that's modeled after Crystal Palace, which is another actual team. But it lives, his team, the Greyhounds, the Richmond or what is it, AFC Richmond Greyhounds play within the EPL, the same league that has your Arsenals and Liverpools and Chelsea, and they live within that universe, but they're just not real. But it's cool that they use like a lot of the real teams, names, stadiums, players, stuff like that.
Yeah, cool. So anyway, it got me thinking, is it possible, and follow me here. Now, I'm not sure what sport would be best for having zero coaching. And then we could talk about that. But so with a soccer team, right? So say you have a soccer team that has some veterans on it, and then your team captain is like kind of a player coach type of deal. That's how they kind of explain in this show. Like there's the veteran, the grizzled veteran that's played in the league for so long, and he's kind of like the player coach. And they have that a lot in soccer.
Yeah. Well, they have it in basketball. The first time I remember ever seeing it was here in town.
Yeah.
With the Orlando Magic, and we had a center, and he was an older man named Tree Rollins. He was a player coach, and I remember as a kid seeing that and going, "That's cool."
Some of the veteran, I guess, quarterbacks in the NFL can probably be considered because they can change plays on the fly, like Tom Brady.
Brady's a player coach, right?
Yeah, I'm sure
he could almost be a full-blown coach at this point.
Rodgers and stuff. So anyway, so you take teams like that, and I think the one stipulation is there has to be some sort of veteran that understands the game more than everybody. That's kind of a player's coach. Could a team survive and even do well with zero coaching? And it's just that team. And you take away all the coaching staff, and the team lives on its own and decides what they're going to do alone, and basically coaches themselves. Like how important is coaching in soccer and games like that? NFL, every play is different. So I feel like I
feel like naturally somebody would want to be kind of the shot caller.
Yeah,
and then everyone would fight about it.
Don't you need a focal point? Don't you need a
and maybe that head player would kind of take that role, but he would also be playing.
You need a messenger, and I don't think it works as well if your player. The reason the player coach I don't think works as well as just the coach is that if you start, if your playing starts suffering, or maybe you're a detriment that particular match or game.
Yeah.
Or do you have the wherewithal? Is your ego shifted enough to be able to have the forethought to pull yourself out of the game, or to make the shift where you have to know your own limitations and also be realistic with your own athletic ability? And I don't know if that's going to be. I don't know if that'd work out.
Because the reason why I'm saying this is because the whole premise of the TV show is this guy comes in and is the head coach. Now, they kind of make it a little more believable because his assistant knows about soccer, and this guy, Ted Lasso.
Really, yeah, and they add to it. And it is believable because you got the assistant, because, think of Florida State when they still had Bobby Bowden. I mean, a lot of people for years were saying, that guy's just walking around like Ted Lasso. And the other guys, the assistants.
Everybody doing the work.
Yeah, but he's
just a figurehead.
But he's also important because he is the face, and he's the guy that gets the guys pumped up.
Yeah. So technically, you could be a head coach that knows nothing but just knows motivation and knows that, because that's what the kind of whole premise is, that he doesn't know about the sport, but he knows about what it takes to win and motivate your team.
Just have the correct attitude.
And the locker room, cohesiveness, and because I think if you, and the sport I know the most about is the NFL right now. And everybody praises Belichick, obviously, for his football genius. But also, it probably has a lot to do with how he groomed the organization and how the organization's brand and, and like Orlando City used to tell us all the time, like, what's our image and what are we about and what's the...
Yeah, what is our mantra? What is our vibe? What is our... what are we trying to portray ourselves as?
Yeah, and so I think Belichick, he built a organization that's just all serious football and no one F's around, and it's like, and everybody's accountable. And
although his Subway commercial...
I was going to ask about that. And then I was like, was it Belichick that had the foot fetish? But that was the other guy,
No,
right?
it wasn't Belichick.
That was like foot-long jokes with him. That would be funny.
Belichick's never had any sort of clowning.
I've never seen him. I've never seen him do anything other than football, and he's in a Subway commercial, and I stood up. That's how shocking it was to me. I was laying on the couch. Maisie and I are playing American Girl dolls. Andrea's on the couch in her position reading, like news on her phone. when he cut the guy's sleeves off in the Subway commercial and the sleeves fall down and it's Bill Belichick standing there, I physically stood up and I go, oh, that's really him.
Yeah,
he hasn't done Madden. He will not do Madden because he's not part of the Coaches Association. Remember when we figured that out?
Yeah.
This guy's like complete football recluse.
Does it stink of his wife? Because I'm sure. Okay, Belichick. Obviously, all his kids are grown and some of them are coaching. But Belichick doesn't probably spend that much time, hanging out with the family during football season. I have no idea. But he literally, I think the guy just works probably.
He comes and goes as he pleases till the end of the season.
Yeah, all day long, every day. And, just wakes up, work, goes to sleep, work, just never stops working. So maybe his wife's like, listen, your agent and managers at the Subway commercial's been sitting on the in the hopper. You can get paid what? How much do you think you get paid? $8 million?
I think a lot.
Had to be a ton.
I think it was a lot, or they gave a lot to charity or something. There's got to be something going on there.
So it's like, let's say it's $8 million, and they're like, all you have to do is you don't even have to dress up. You just go.
Walk down the street. We'll have everything set up. We'll have all the subs.
And then you eat the sub, and then you're like, well, I don't even know if he talks, right?
Yeah, he does.
And there's 2 different Subway commercials.
Oh, there's 2?
Yeah, I actually haven't seen the second one.
I can get them.
I can send you a link if you need it, but I haven't seen the second one yet. But in the first one, he has one line, and all it is really? That's it.
Look, the first thing this is how shocked America is.
Yeah.
When you type in Bill Belichick, instead of saying Patriots or Tampa or whatever, nothing about football whatsoever.
Because it was weird.
It just says Subway.
If you don't do any sort of endorsements,
so at the first ad, he just says the word really. And in the second one, he has no speaking lines, and it says, which pokes fun at his lack of emotion on the field.
Okay, so they played into it, of course. And he's not going to do anything over the top or anything. The fact that they even got him was a miracle. How much?
It says this is not Bill Belichick's first time acting. He briefly appeared on an episode of Rescue Me in 2006. He was credited as a funeral attendee.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
that's
maybe.
weird.
But secretly, you don't know what this guy's like. But here's him talking about it, I think.
Okay.
It's a video of Bill Belichick.
Bill, I think the question everyone's curious about this offseason is that when you were sitting on that bench in Connecticut filming that commercial, what was the sandwich?
It's pretty good. It was pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of their super dupers or whatever. But
super dupers.
He doesn't even know Dumb Old Man. I love it. Oh man,
he doesn't even know one sub they have.
It doesn't matter.
He doesn't even know what the sub's called. He called it the super duper, which has never been on any
Subway.
Yeah, it's not soup.
You don't eat that garbage. Why? Of course not. This guy is first of all.
I don't know. It's one of those shimmy dogs.
I've never even seen him eat. I think it's just a football computer. And second, if he does eat, he's a GD millionaire. He's not going to eat some Subway garbage. So
I got to give credit to NESN on YouTube for that clip. That's
and for
hilarious.
sure, he's like, I'll do it. Like $5 million. Okay, like he probably worked for all. He was on set for all of what 2 hours. Like,
have you seen the commercial?
They put makeup and they give him his Here
it is.
Like,
whoa, Bill Belichick? Really? You're right. I should get a delicious footlong from Subway. That would be better. Yeah.
No, he all cuts the sleeves off.
Thank you.
Good food that's good.
Okay, there you go.
How much did he get paid for that? I'm curious.
I'm looking and I can't find it.
Yeah, he probably that's undisclosed for sure.
I think there'd be a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. They to get him to do this. I'm just curious of what it took. Like, okay, so maybe I'm wrong about 2 hours. This is a day of work because you show up at a set that like, Subway contracts a multi-million-dollar production company to do
but
these
they also have
commercials.
it all set up.
No, yeah.
Because I've done a few of these before where you just go to a place and you sit there and then they bring you out because they'll light it with somebody else.
Oh, yeah. They'll get it down where they know that he don't want his grumpy-ass Belichick don't want to sit there.
Subway put out a press release just strictly about this commercial. And the quote from Belichick is, when Subway reached out, shared the footlong season campaign objectives and the ideas for the commercial, I decided the timing was right to have some fun and enjoy some sandwiches. He did not say that.
No. The
Or
time
it was like a pre-written thing or
he's
something,
like,
right?
well, I'm in my, how old is Belichick? 60, he's in his 60s, and I think over 65 or whatever. But anyway, he's probably like, I'll make $5 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not? Like, I want another house in the ski, like whatever. Like, you don't think it's so much money.
What about this theory? Because what about the theory
he's worth $35 million.
Yeah, I mean, he's done well for himself. He doesn't want for anything. But what about this theory? Okay, so his guy, his main partnership in Tom Brady, you think that's tight. You hear the rumblings behind the scenes. He wanted to cut Brady. Maybe that's why Brady went to Tampa, right? This is what all the pundits say.
Yeah.
So Brady goes to Tampa, extremely visible. The Gronk thing, extremely visible. Tampa, right? Is there something within his football ego to say, well, I got Cam, I got my team, I'm putting it together, but maybe I need to be a little more visible? Is there something in there that maybe he thinks he needs to garner a little bit more attention to keep their eyes on the Patriots and Robert Kraft's team?
Maybe. It just seems like what he would think is what will keep the attention on us if I keep winning without Brady.
That's what I think. I think that too, but I'm wondering if,
by the way,
that's like something somebody else would do. We wouldn't think of him typically doing that.
No. I think he's a real man that just only likes football, and he's a football genius, and that's what it comes to. But also, if someone offers you enough money and you start really looking at it, you're like, okay, they're going to give me X amount of millions. For sure it's over millions, right?
I think so.
I keep saying 5 to 8.
Somebody said 500,000, but that's just way too low.
God, it doesn't seem...
I just don't think that's enough money.
Yeah, because...
I want to watch this one more time. Sorry, hold on.
Question everyone's curious about this offseason is that when you were sitting on that bench in Connecticut filming that commercial, what was the sandwich?
It was good.
It's pretty good. It was pretty good. I don't know. I think it's one of their super dupers or whatever. But
and by the way,
I haven't ever done anything like that. I think we mentioned it on the BBF website, but it's kind of a difficult environment to raise funds now for charities, foundations.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought. Charity.
I told you guys I thought there was a charity component.
Spend a day.
All right.
Yeah. See, now we're getting the picture.
That's it.
That makes sense. We figured it out.
He said, "I'll do it if it,
kids need food. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on. Let me put my shirt on.
And you're right. They probably made it as easy as possible. They just come out, they do that, and then he's out of there.
We will give your charity $10 million. All right, fine. And he's right. It is hard to raise money for charities, man. Nobody's got money.
And before you think that, like, I saw someone guess $500K, it's way more than that. Because I've seen big national companies spend like $50K in local radio station markets. You're talking Belichick in a national TV ad worldwide.
I know a small company that spent $20,000 on something very small for TV.
I mean, it's multiple millions, and he must have donated either all of it or a portion of it to charity because he doesn't need money. I mean, what is Belichick? Did you see Belichick's house? When he was doing the draft, I'm sure he lives in a mansion.
I really enjoyed it. It looks like everyone's house.
Yeah, it's just like he was on his kitchen table, and
it was great.
From the webcam, it just looked like a regular house. Now I'm sure it's nice as balls, like obviously in a really nice neighborhood, and so, but it doesn't seem like he cares about any sort of luxury. The guy
I think he just
plays
cares.
football.
Well, doesn't he have a fishing boat? Isn't he into fishing a lot?
Maybe.
I think he's a fisherman.
Jimmy Johnson was...
was he? I always thought that Belichick had a boat because I thought I saw a video of him like riding in a boat and then like he had like a Columbia shirt on.
Maybe. That seems like him.
It seems like him.
But there's another... I think it's Jimmy Johnson. He's got a boat and like lives in... He's got a house in the Keys and like super into fishing. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I knew it. Okay, so it's charity. That's why I did it.
Good for him.
And
he does have a fishing boat. Here it is. So he renamed his fishing boat, I guess, after Super Bowl 53, and he renamed his boat 8 Rings.
Oh, okay. That's the ego.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Here's what.
Look at his little boat, dude. You're Bill Belichick. You hate fun. You hate sleeves. You like tiny shorts, and you want to name your boat, Tiffany's Rings. Old school.
One nomination for Podcast Awards.
It just says Stitcher nominee lost on this side.
But that's he's got a boat sitting outside his West Palm Beach mega condo or something.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then he's
8 rings is awesome.
That
dude.
is. I like that he addresses he's a real man, cares about nothing but football and winning, but he also likes to brag about it.
Oh, even better. It was 7 rings. He just added another
I was going to
ring.
say, I'm reading an article from 2018, and it was 7 rings then.
Yeah.
But he did build a compound on an island on Nantucket. So, he's got more than one house here.
Yeah, because
it used to be 5 rings. He's always just slapping new.
Smaller boat.
He just slaps new stickers on.
Every time you upgrade, do you get an upgraded boat or something? Like, he should have got a nicer boat. Like 10 rings, it's gonna be a GD yacht.
I love him. He's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that is hilarious.
I honestly don't know I've never heard any negative thing about Belichick where people have been like, oh, he's a D-head or whatever. Like, that's
maybe he's smart enough to keep his head down, just focus on what you're supposed to do.
I think he's just all about business. He's probably a business D-head when he's coaching you know what I'm saying? But out, like, off the field, everything, like, he's able to turn that on and off or whatever.
Yeah, like when they were doing remember when they did the Ultimate Team? Was it on the NFL Network where they did that countdown and they were doing the 100
the
best?
top 100. Yeah,
it was like 100 best.
100 best NFL.
And remember
players.
they pulled him in and they pulled Michael Irving, Deion Sanders, Jim Brown. I'm trying to think of the other guys that were in there. Brady was in there.
Yeah, I think Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson was there. And when they pulled in Belichick for his portion, because he got selected, he was very personable. He doesn't come off like an a-hole or like a bad person. He actually comes off a little shy, I think. I think he comes off like, I really like football. I'm a little bit shy, and I just do what I got to do.
Yeah. And it's a likable coach, especially because he's so good at what he does, like the best there's ever been and probably will be.
Yeah.
But you have to your entire life to that one thing
do.
to be that good. Plus, I'm sure there's a little bit of luck, a little bit of happenstance, but that's ridiculous. And
if I were a player, the one coach I would never want to play for, Tony Dungy.
Oh, yeah. Tony Dungy's a nice guy.
He's just like John Krasinski for me. I look at Tony Dungy, and instantly, right behind his eyes, I just see a head filled with Bible verses, and I just wouldn't want to play for him.
I got mad the last time I gambled.
Whoa.
Fauci!
Yeah, I did too. I got real mad. I think everybody did. Both sides. Doesn't even matter. Yeah, everybody's mad about voting. Nobody wants to do it.
The last time I gambled on the Giants, and I forgot the old stinky Jason Garrett, the ex-head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, the offensive coach of the Giants, and I'm like, no, he's doing it again.
You gotta look at all of them.
Go, what I gambled, you stinky clapper, Garrett.
All my players are out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like I lost every good player I selected.
You're
is
injured?
Out.
Yeah. Well, at least you're not 0-3.
No, they're out for the season. I'm 1-2, but they're out for the season. Barkley, he was my number one. I was the number 1 seed going in. I'm listed second to last in power rankings now. I'm terrible.
Who's your quarterback?
I had Carson Wentz.
Oh,
yeah, I know. I know. I'm picking up Minshew though, because you dropped him.
Yeah.
I'm snagging him off of waivers.
I
need him.
Minshew.
Everybody's saying that this is going to be his week. I gotta put him in for Wentz.
Or last week, he got 9 points against my stinky Dolphins.
And now everybody's telling me, I'm trying to listen to things in the morning when I'm driving here, but my drive is only 3 seconds, so they're like, Mitch, and I'm like, I'll get him. I just heard his name. They said, they might have said he's dead. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's the more and more I'm listening to all these analysts talk about sports, I'm realizing they're just like me, or they're just BSing. That's all it is. It's this, but you're talking about sports. No one knows. You're trying to throw out predictions and things. You're doing entertainment but the category has to be this, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
So it's like they're trying to fill time and like say all these theories and these things to make people mad. It's like instead of bringing up pit bulls, you're bringing up, is Brady good? Has he lost it? It's the same. Yeah. It's what do they call them in radio?
They're evergreens.
Evergreens. Like, so there's evergreen topics. Is Aaron Rodgers mad? That's why he's winning. Yeah. Because they drafted a rookie QB instead of wide receiver. It's all the evergreen topics. And you're like, this is all PS.
Yeah, it's all
nonsense.
Let's take a.